Oh, what is going on? Are we on? I'll take these off. What is up? Thank you for joining me on draft night. DOS. Share screen. Window. Here we go. All right. We are waiting for this draft. When do we think that Collingwood's going to get back into the draft? Let me know. Cryptic, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Manny, what's going on? McSleazy, what's up? Nita, Benjamin. All right, and I've got a nice pizza here. Actually, I need a plate. One sec. Oh. All right. Just posting the link to my socials. Cool. How's everyone's day been? Oh, shit. From start.
Many parts make up a premiership team.
Just live.
And it begins at the NAB 8. And it begins at the NAB 8.
All right. We're live. Tell me if I need to turn it up or whatever. Go away, Clark. I think we trade up into the late second round. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I think we're going to. I would love Jesse Motlop as well.
Jason Horne-Francis. The future is now. This is the
Charlie Dean. Poach was talking about Charlie Dean yesterday.
Good evening and welcome to night 2 of the AFL 2021 draft. The dreams of 20 young men came true last night, and we're expecting more of the same tonight with rounds 2 onwards. Let's welcome the panellists, Kevin Shifter-Sheen, the AFL talent manager. You're armed with pages and notes. You must be very excited for tonight.
Very excited, Tommy. We're hoping to double that number tonight to around the 40 players will become instantly household names in the AFL world at least.
And Lee Montagna, the St Kilda champion. You're going to analyse all these picks tonight. What are you expecting?
Yeah, look, I'm expecting another great night. I mean, we thought that there were some nervous boys last night and some excitement. Well, in all reality, they knew they were going to get drafted. It was just a matter of which club. But tonight, there's probably 80-odd young men sitting at home, about 40 spots.
I've got my iPad here ready to go with any draft profiles that we need of players that we pick. So that'll be fun. Let's do it.
This was at the top of the draft last night. Do you see him making an impact straight away in North Melbourne?
Oh, absolutely, Tom. I mean, we've seen for a number of years now these young kids come into the AFL system ready to play and ready to impact straight away. He's going to be no exception. He's ready to go. He might not start in the centre square round 1 at the Kangaroos, but he'll certainly be on a half-forward flank, be able to be part of that midfield group. And I think he can change the fortunes of the Kangaroos almost immediately, like what we've seen with Sam Walsh and Matt Rao and other guys, and the impact they can have straight away.
And you can't underestimate the grounding. He's had 2 years at senior level at South Adelaide, so he's ready to run.
All right, there's some real heartwarming shows of emotion last night. That was one of them. And we see the North Melbourne Footy Club there. They've got Jason Horne-Francis. But last night, I was at London Tavern where Ben Hobbs was stoked to be selected by the Bombers, and he was also wiping away tears. You see, he was selected with pick 13. He's just coming up soon. And then the other one was Darcy Wilmot as well.
Shrek, I am munching on some pizza.
Tears of joy.
Some pizza.
Absolutely. Tears of joy, tears of relief as well, because it's been a long build-up for these players. You've got to remember, there hasn't been a lot of football this year for many of them. It's a long build-up now with exams and media and the scrutiny around the draft. So to finally hear your name called out, and as I said earlier, leave your boy.
All right, let me just put this down for a bit because we don't really care about all this stuff. What's our main target for tonight? Key defender, speedy crummer. Maybe someone else in the back line would be nice.
The first choice next year, but he's surrounded by his mates. They did get around him, didn't they?
Yeah, pineapple on the supreme side of my pizza. I love pineapple. So, well, I actually love pineapple on pizza more than I love it on anything else, to be honest. And in pina coladas.
Well, mine was similar. I was at schoolies on the Gold Coast, so I must admit mine was similar to that sort of celebration. No cameras back then.
Certainly no video phones in 2001. All right, it's time to welcome in Fox Footy's draft expert over in WA, Mick Ablett, to the coverage for the first time tonight. A big night in Perth last night. But tell us, first and foremost, are we going to see Fremantle use pick 21, the first pick in the second round, on Matt Johnson, Mick?
Good evening, boy. Tommy, you've sort of backed me into a corner here, but I'm going to sit on the fence for the first.
No, I don't think we need any more tall forwards, to be honest.
This day
I
two
think
of the
we're
draft,
pretty
because
well equipped
there has
with
been a
Kruger
lot of
and stuff.
conjecture around the second round of the draft. I know a number of clubs have really tried hard to get back in because the talent's still on the board without success. So it just goes to show how highly the clubs that are in the mix for that second round, and particularly through 20 through to 30, how much they value these selections and the players still on the board. So anything could happen. I think if Fremantle do give it up, they're certainly going to get their money's worth and maybe even a bit more.
Tall defenders, yeah, we need
like I
defenders,
say,
definitely.
Still sitting there on the board in the 2021 draft.
Just stay there for a second, Nick. Joey, Hawthorn, we know, like Matt Johnson. Could they swoop?
Well, absolutely, they could. I mean, if you really look at this, the second round of the
Swoop.
draft, there's
Copyright
5
infringement.
clubs who've got 13 selections, 13 of the 18 selections. So clubs like North Melbourne, Geelong, Hawthorn and Richmond, who we believe might want to move up the board, and the West Coast Eagles really dominate this second round. So they are the teams that we're going to look for, and if they are going to try and improve their position, it might be to get that pick 21.
And Nick, last night, 2 picks in the top 10, the Fremantle Dockers, they'd be pretty happy with their haul.
Yeah, absolutely. I just spoke to Justin Longmuir just prior to coming on air, and a very, very happy Fremantle outfit. Not only did they get the key forward they were chasing, and they also topped up with that tough inside mid. Maybe someone to learn off David Mundy for the next 12 months or so as he gets the tail end of his career. But a very, very happy Fremantle Docker outfit, and looking forward to day 2 where they can just add a little bit more talent to the mix of those 2 boys that they've already brought into the club.
And they worked hard to keep that pick 21, so I'm sure they'll be looking to use unless a deal was too good to refuse. Thanks, Mick. We'll check back in with you a little bit later on. So from Perth to Marvel Stadium, where Sarah Ollie is standing by. Sarah, it's another day, and there's some COVID chaos as well. Bring us up to speed.
Good evening, Tom. You're absolutely on the money. In fact,
Passos.
What's turned into a little mini COVID triage. Right. Had to have rapid tests upon arrival.
Unboxing. What's this one?
That a club staffer
Oh,
who was
fuck
here
does
at
it
Marvel
open?
Stadium last night. Well, they've tested positive for COVID. So everyone upon arrival, as you can see, getting their names ticked off when they do these rapid tests. And the good news is, so far, no positive tests. Now, along with the rapid test, there has been a tightening of restrictions. You can see no one's immune. Even our own Johnny Ralph getting it right up the schnock there. The masks must
Oh, hell yeah.
the entire evening. And the AFL have also
DJ
don't
generic.
do stay in the rooms where they're making selections.
Support
That's all
local
about
Aussie music.
boys. And I'm hoping to see a few more scenes like we saw in Darcy Wilmot's lounge room last night when they're all piling on top of each other, because that's what draft night's all about.
Thanks, Sarah. We'll check back in with you as the night goes on. Chief, there's some good players left. Who would expect him to be at the top of the whiteboards for the clubs that are in the 20s?
Well, these are the Fox Footy rankings. You can see
The
some
hell's this?
highly rated boys are still on the board.
Camera stuff.
Jesse
Cool.
Hobbs, son of Daniel, but not eligible father-son, so he's one of the complex ones. His next generation
What?
academy, Fremantle. But if there's a bid inside 40, they can't match the bid. They'll be hoping that he gets outside 40 and they can pick him up with ease.
So these are the Fox Lab rankings, and as you can see, pick 13 and 14, well, they're still on the table. Many thought that Johnson would go last night, Joey. He's held over to tonight, and I bet you there's some clubs that are looking to get him.
Yeah, and a lot of midfielders in that group as well. So we saw last night shifted, didn't we? A lot of key defenders went, and people, the clubs took players on specific needs. So it's left a lot of quality midfielders in the early part of this second round. So look for clubs like Richmond and Hawthorn that we know are looking for midfielders to swoop early.
All right, round 2 is not far away. Stay with us on Fox. It's coming up right after this.
Classic Fox. Just anyway, let's have a chat. So we really need tall defenders. Get our picks up. Yeah. All right. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. It's 2022. Oh, just fucking just tell me everything instead of having to. Oh, you know what we'll do? So our first pick's 45. Then we got 51, 69, nice, 87, and 90. This is what we've got next year. We've got 4 round 3 picks, obviously a first round as well, and a round 4 pick. So you would think that a couple of these gets traded. It probably goes in with one of these picks as well. Our first pick being 45, you would love to get somewhere around here, if possible. Not overly confident, but Righty hasn't steered us wrong yet. He knows what he's doing more than we do. So wouldn't be surprised if we do get a late second round, or like it's not even any point getting an early first round because that's still pretty late. But remember, a lot of late picks are good picks as well. Like I said yesterday, Tommy Langdon I think was in his 60s, Swanee in his 50s, was James Hird 77 or something. So you know. Just how much it just matters how much effort the kids want to put in to be great.
This stops the timber getting wrecked by the UV. Always put this on, mate. Keeps it in good nick.
When we cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Twice as many men as women die from melanoma in Australia.
Always wear sunscreen.
Skin cancer can spread to organs like the lungs and brain.
First thing you should do when you're washing your face in the morning, put on some SPF 50 plus. There might not be any sun, but still gets to you. Trust me. You're begging for food, bro. I'm not going to give you food. Swanee late 50s, Dacos 50s, Chris Grant 105, which is virtually like the last pick you could ever do. Here we go. Bit of Nick as well is going to appear here. I'll put it back up.
14 of the basic first round draftees from last night. You see Sam Darcy there, Ben Hobbs, Josh Ward, he's going to be a gun for Hawthorn, Finn Callahan for GWS, and many more. All very excited last night, and all now officially on an AFL list. You can imagine the journey starts now for them. It's going to be an absolute ripper next year, seeing many of them play. Shifter and Joey, we're not far away from round 2 here. What are we expecting off the chop, do you reckon, Shifter? Which sort of players are around the mark?
Well, I think it'll be those midfielders. I think we'll see a run of those in the next few. When will the first ruckman come? There's one specialist ruckman that's an All-Australian that's in the group, and that's young Conway. He may bob up in the next 10, but I reckon it'll be the performers that play through the midfield.
All right, let's get to Brad Scott, who's ready to read out the first pick of the second round, pick 21.
Here we go.
On behalf of the AFL, I would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people, the traditional owners.
Since when did he become general manager? What the fuck?
Pay our respects to elders past, present, and emerging. We acknowledge we play our great game on this land and respect the cultures of all First Peoples, their contribution to our nation, and their contribution to the game of Australian rules football. Round 2 of the 2021 NAB AFL draft starts now. And Fremantle Football Club, you're on the clock.
So these are the Dockers. Simon Garlick and Bob Murphy and Peter Bell to the left with Justin Longmuir there in Perth, Joey, and all the boys on the right are in Melbourne. Yeah, the two different venues there. So you can see the COVID masks in Melbourne and the Fremantle over there. Bob Murphy not sitting next to the coach tonight. He was there last night, front and centre for the top 10 picks, but he's now found a different spot in the corner. And we're going to wait to see where they take Matthew Johnson, the local product, who highly talented shifter, isn't he? A lot of clubs put ahead of him in his top sort of 10 to 12 in that range on their lists, and somehow he sort of slipped through to this first pick in the second round.
Yeah, watch him coming through. It reminds me of a Mitch Duncan as a young fellow, as a 17, 18-year-old coming through. He's just so composed, a great user of the football. And he played well grand final day. That's the early curtain raiser they had, the WA versus SA state game. A big occasion, wins the medal. They're all great signs. He's a boy of 192 centimetres. I'd see him playing out the wing for a start, but as he grows physically stronger, he can get into the midfield, into the stoppage sort of area and have an impact. So I think he's the best credential player that's left on the board.
So there's been a bit of talk about a comparison to Scott Pendlebury. Shifter, is that fair? I mean, he's got that beautiful side.
Yeah, look, hopefully Dib does make it later on down the line. I don't think anyone's going to pick him. And if he goes after pick 40, we can bid on him if we oh no, we gave up that right. So, you know, it's going to be interesting.
On the phone there on the right, and the Melbourne-based office, Peter Bell and Justin Longmuir. You'd think that Fremantle would have got some reasonable offers, but it'd have to be a pretty good offer to get pick 21. I'm just looking down the draft order here. Geelong on picks 24 and 25. But Joey, if you remember back to the trade period, the Dockers worked so hard to keep pick 21 and also get Jordan Clark, or get the first pick of the second round and also get Jordan Clark in from Geelong. Yeah, it was a great get by David Walls and his team to get a hold of this first pick in the second round, because clubs have now had almost 24 hours to come up with some offers to try and move up into the draft. They've been able to consider everything and in a really strong position, and now it's up to them whether they want to take Johnson or trade the pick.
Pick 21. Fremantle have selected Matthew Johnson from
Subiaco. There we go.
Well, it may have taken 24 hours, but I reckon their sum up last night would have been, gee, how can we get hold of this fella? We can't believe our luck. They would have thought we're only going to get two of the Western Australian best boys. They'll end up with three of them. This is a great win for Freo. They'll be absolutely wrapped, and they probably can't hide their emotion and the emotion of, I think, Matt Johnson too. He'd be delighted to be staying at home and playing on those vast wings of
good kid.
Stadium. Yeah, a big wrap for the young man. Obviously a little bit awkward, a little bit deflating for him last night, not getting picked up, but to stay in his hometown, to now be drafted with two other Western Australians, and he is one of the best kicks in the draft. Make no mistake, he's, as Shifter said, got that ability to play on the outside, and he might stay.
Yeah, Freo smashed it with their picks.
Wingman, you can see here, always wanting to bring the ball back into the corridor, change his angles, got a lovely step, and at 192 centimetres, he's the prototype of the modern AFL midfielder.
Joey, do you think that clubs take into account where players are from in the first place? I mean, Fremantle have got a good culture going. They've got a good successful culture, they hope, in the future years. But they've lost Adam Cherry, they've lost Ed Langdon home in recent years. Do you think that plays into it at all?
Not really. I just think it's a bonus. I think it's a bonus that they've got a top 10 talented player still available.
Yeah, you'd think North would pick up Motlop. I don't see why they wouldn't.
This year, and to be able to get the three best junior Western Australians from this year and all go to the Fremantle Dockers, they must be wrapped with what they've done this period.
Nick Ablett's in Perth, free locals for the Dockers. They must be very happy over there, Nick.
Absolutely, and isn't it amazing what 24 hours can do in football? It was tears last night in the family. Would have gone home a pretty flat young man, and then today he gets the news that he's staying in Perth and now on an AFL list. So congratulations to the Fremantle Dockers and his family. I'm sure they'd be absolutely stoked. When you watch him play, I love the fact that he's at his best when he keeps it simple. Matt Johnson is an absolute elite athlete. He's a very good midfielder. And I actually think Bailey Dale, when I see him play, I think he's really got that ability to either come off a wing, to come off half-back. He can pinch hit through the midfield. But
yeah, so the Phantom draft has got Jesse Motlop.
He just sits off the contest.
Would have been nice. There's no way we are going to get the Kangaroos as 22. We would need to. There's no way we're going to get that.
To get him at pick 21 is just a great result for them and also for West Australian football.
He's one of those players, Tom, that's able to find time and space. He's always had that ability. And this is something that really improved in his game this year, his ability to win contests, to be able to go and play as an inside midfielder that ideally he would like to develop into and become an
Especially because
his body gets bigger and bigger and he grows into his size.
he's a son of a former
His numbers there.
Kangaroo
The kick
great as
efficiency
well.
is the one that stands out, as we said, one of the best kicks in the draft, certainly the best kick in Western Australia, and he's going to slot in beautifully, probably pretty early at Freeman and get some good game time.
So North Melbourne's got a couple of minutes left. Shifter, we've also got a full body of work for these players in WA.
Arlo Draper is such a good name. God, that's a really good name.
Versus potential. So he's had production for 2 years. They've been analysing probably close to 40 games of footy from Matt Johnson. The Vic boys, they average about 6 games in the last 2 years. Nothing last year, about 12 this year. So you're looking at...
Look here, Bradley Hugh, midfielder from Western Australia, who was surged way into contention. Huey Dibb, Jed Rule, Charlie Dean, Felix Flockhart.
Well, I think there's a couple of key areas. I think
Rule's a key defender.
Is an area that they are a bit
Charlie
more
Dean.
they might look at. As we saw with the board, though, there might
Look at
not
that
be
dirty Mo.
available at the moment. So certainly some outside.
Look at that dirty Mo, I love it.
For the Kangaroos, I mean, Sean Atlee's moved on. Aaron Hall has been terrific, but he's getting a bit older, and they've got Bailey Scott and Jaden Stevenson and some other players, but maybe some run and outside talent might be something they're looking for as well.
Oh, here we go.
Pick 22, North Melbourne have selected Josh Gota from Calder Cannons.
Oh,
He's got some outside run here, but a boy that also can go on the inside into the centre square. Loved a couple of his games late in the year when he played that Xavier Dersma type role from back. He'll break the lines, take the game on, and it was 2 brilliant games he had at the end of the NAB League season in that role. Earlier in the year, he was playing as the wingman and then the inside mid. He's 190 centimetres.
that's good. That's very good. Dean won Williamstown's best and fairest, I think.
He was at his best speed, 23 disposals right there in the middle of the ground, but he just got the ball in his hands, summed things up and slipped it out brilliantly to his teammates on the run. So he's got lots of scope, can play lots of positions, and at 190, he's the ideal type.
So he's a utility, and as a result, North Melbourne have picked him up, and this is the reaction when they read out his name. Brad Scott, there he goes. He's a North Melbourne player now. Glenn Luff, the list manager, they looked at all the available options. They've decided on Josh Gota, and Hawthorn's up next.
That's a good name as well.
That's a pretty good selection based on the rankings that we have from the Fox Lab. Yeah, his athletic profile is what really stood out. He's got the leg speed. He's got that ability to mark overhead and that real athletic trait. He's probably more of the athlete than the natural footballer. You could say he's probably not as maybe as refined with his skills as some of the sort of top 20 picks in this draft, but you can see here his athletic traits that stand out. He's a beautiful size at 190 centimetres. He's probably more comfortable at the moment.
We're probably not going to get a pick for a while, but it's good to just watch the draft anyway. I've got, nothing else to fucking do, so it's good. Thanks for hanging out with me. There's 58 of yous. I appreciate it. If there's anything else I can do to keep you guys entertained, let me know. Clark. Oh, Lex, I don't have anything. Yeah, I have a bit of hand.
Yesterday, he was able to be there last night, and he's there again tonight. So Josh Gota, we're going to chat to him now on the Fox Footy Coach.
Let me open this. I've got a new camera tripod.
Yeah, I'm absolutely over the moon. Obviously, followed North Melbourne my whole life, and yeah, I'm absolutely stoked to be able to do that kick and earn myself at that club. So I'm absolutely rapt to get into it with that bunch of boys, and looking forward to it next week.
Congratulations, Josh. Tell us about last night. Obviously, watching the draft, you might have been hopeful to have got selected. How did you sleep? How did you sort of go watching it last night and not hearing your name called out, having to wait another 24 hours?
Yeah, it was a bit of mixed emotions last night. Obviously, I would love to go last night and relieve a bit of the stress a bit, but I'm absolutely over the moon to land at North Melbourne tonight, and it was worth the wait. I'm absolutely rapt to get into
I use a blue ball ice snowball.
Yeah, so
it's a circle one. I think it's called the blue snow ice ball. Robbie, how you going, mate?
Yeah, so with mum and dad and my brother at the moment. So
Oh yeah, look at this thing.
over, so he's got graduation at the moment. So
Oh, this is dope.
Late to graduation, so
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll be rocking up a bit late. I was tossing up between going now and watching the draft at the table, but yeah, I made the decision to stay at home
Hell yeah.
and watch it.
This is sick. I'll show you what my tripod looks like at the moment.
Well done, mate. Congratulations. Good luck for your
victory.
Thanks, boys. Cheers.
As Josh Goda picked 22 to North Melbourne. He's going to rock into graduation like a king tonight. He's going to strike going. So he should Sudbury College shifter, Josh Goda.
Just up the road, hey, Ross Smith, of course, coaching there at the Calder Cannons.
This is my current tripod. It's really, really, really bad. Like it doesn't even hold up my camera anymore. Just really, really poor. So that can go into the bin.
Up the order enough. What are we looking at?
Yeah, look, they've already taken one midfielder with Josh Ward. You think maybe another midfielder?
Here we go.
With pick 23, Hawthorn have selected Sam Butler from the Greater Western Victorian Rebels.
Sam Butler.
The brother of Dan, of course, the Saint now that was a Tiger. He's a little bit bigger than brother, but he's got a lot of the traits of the brother and a very elusive player.
Where did Cal have Sam Butler going? Ooh. Damn. Cal had Sam Butler going at 15. That's huge. That's a huge steal by the Hawks.
This boy is he'd be the fourth player for the Rebels taken already. That's a fantastic result from Greater Western Victoria to have him go. So in the third from St. Pat's, what a school that has been for producing champions of the game. So Sam Butler is the next player and stay home in Victoria to go to the Hawks.
Yeah, Phil Partington, Pardo will be really pleased.
Boys, I can't give you any pizza. I'm sorry.
They've got a good crop this year, and Sam Butler, he's going to be a little ripper as well. I think
Just want Collingwood to pull off something, man. Far out. No, Jesse, I'll stay for Geelong, mate. All good.
All right, Sam Butler's ready to go. Sam, congratulations on being selected by Hawthorn. Talk us through your emotions. Can you put it into words?
Not really, to be honest. I'm absolutely over the moon. Hard to put into words, but just grateful for the opportunity, I suppose. Can't wait to get into it. Pretty generic, but yeah, just can't wait.
Did you know that Hawthorn were keen on you?
I did have a few with them. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to tell, really. Most clubs don't really give you much indication, but yeah, just once again, so grateful.
Congratulations, Sam. Have you got your brother Dan there with you tonight? And how's he been as someone you can lean on and I suppose get some advice? And what was his advice leading up to tonight?
Yeah, I've got all my family in the lounge room. He's just, I don't know. I do get a lot of advice off him. He's probably been my main role model. Here he is.
There's Butler.
Yeah, he probably has been my main role model since Dad doesn't really have a clue about footy, but yeah, which isn't bad. But yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I'm just lost for words right now.
Hey, Sam, who's quicker, you or Dan across the turf?
Me, I reckon. I've got to smash him one time.
Can you put Dan on? Is he around or has he had a couple too many drinks?
I reckon he might come in now after hearing that. He might have had a few, but I reckon he might be covered.
Get Dan Butler on from the St Kilda Footy Club.
Yeah, here he is.
Jeez. Hey, Dan, I'm sure you can hear us. How proud of your brother to be selected for Hawthorn Footy Club, and what will you do if you play against him? What a treat that would be for your family.
Yeah, obviously, really proud of him. He's worked really hard for it. So, yeah, really excited to see him hopefully next year and looking forward to smashing him.
What sort of player is he? How good
Whoa,
is he?
Lex.
Yeah, I think
out of there, bud.
He's seriously pretty good.
Yeah,
very hard worker, really good on the inside in the contest, and real clean hands feeding it out. So, yeah, pretty similar to someone.
24, you reckon, Charles? You reckon Pies are doing something to get 24? I'll give you, if Pies get 24 or 25, I'll give you $20. How's that?
Hey, Sam, congratulations. Really pleased for you. Looking forward to see what you can do at Hawthorn for the next few years.
Thanks, heaps, guys. Appreciate it.
And thanks to Dan Butler as well for jumping on for a chat. Always good to see the family affair, Joey.
Yeah, we're just having a look at the GWV Rebels draftees so far. Shifter and they had a really strong list, don't they? This year they had some talent there. Josh Gibkiss and Hobbs, and now Butler to join Lohman.
We might have made a comment yesterday. They had 9 contenders. How good's that for a regional club to have that many guys in the best 100-odd players?
Charles, you're making me nervous now. Geelong, we've got a minute left. Maybe I have to give you $20. Oh. No, there you go.
With pick 24, the Geelong Cats have selected Toby Conway from the Geelong Falcons.
That's the ruckman the Cats supporters have been calling out for.
There you go, Jesse.
Other than Sam Darby. Darcy that we'll say as a keeper.
24 is Toby Conway.
5 centimetres is the best right round Australia, and he's a local boy, Geelong Falcons boy. You'll just have to come up the road to Skill Stadium, just around the corner. He's been getting some tuition from big Brad Ottmans too, just in his own time to improve his game. He's got a great ruck craft. Even now, for an 18-year-old, you'll need to develop the body further. In fact, he's what Oscar McInerney.
Can we put up money on Nick Dacos to win the Rising Star yet, or what? I want to spend that cash.
He'll just take some time, but I think the Cats have invested in a little there.
Yeah, and generally most ruckmen do take time to develop at AFL level. Certainly he was the best ruckman left in the draft pool, wasn't he, after a couple of the big ones got drafted in the mid-season. Geelong, we knew, were probably in the market for a ruckman. They've got Segler and Reece Stanley, who are both 30, so they needed that young developing ruck, and they've got young Conway. And again, as you said, Shifter, another Geelong Falcon, and we've seen they've got a history. They love staying local. They had 13 on their list last year, the Geelong Falcons. A couple got delisted, but there's another one for them.
Mick Ablett is in Perth. What do you make of what you're seeing so far over there?
Yeah, fantastic selection by the Cats. I really like this kid. He is your modern-day ruckman. He certainly gets into positions to win the ball.
Yeah, so let's just talk about this for a little bit. I've got a couple of interviews coming up, mainly with board members. Craig Moorhead.
5, the Geelong Cats have selected Mitchell Nevitt from the Geelong Falcons.
Okay.
Well, we'll stay at home again.
Yeah, so Craig Moorhead, one of the guys on the board. I'm trying to get, or not trying to, I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I've got a message. I think his name's Chris McDonald. He's on the board as well. I've been in contact with Jeff Brown's team. So I would love to get all 4 of them onto the show, onto for a chat, hopefully individually. I would love nothing more than to talk with Jeff Brown one-on-one, you know, with in the live Q&A, so people can ask him questions and stuff like that. But that's my main goal, getting Jeff Brown on. But other than that, Nick Dacos next year. I'm trying to get Craig McRae on as well. Yeah, Blue Abroad. Terry's done well to get the president on board. We barely have a president, so you know. I wonder if I could get Mark Corder on. I had Paula Curie on. First vice president. First big name to get on a fan camp, so that was pretty cool.
So clearly they're focusing on some height as well, Shifter.
Yeah, and the boys producing the players now at the Falcons, with Mick Turner moving on and retiring after a brilliant career in helping develop players. Paul Corrigan's now the coach, a former draftee to the Cats, played 50-odd games down there. And Tom Lonigan's the talent operations manager, one of the most courageous Cats.
Who do you guys want to see me interview? I can put in a few messages, get some people on for you. I would love to interview Craig McRae. 100%.
Hawks are up next. Are we thinking they're going to go for another midfielder? What are we thinking, Joey?
Well, we do know they need midfielders. They need to continue to stock up. They obviously took Ward last night early, Sam Butler a couple of picks ago, but they still need to try and replenish O'Meara and Shields and Mitchell and these types of guys. They've got Ward.
I hope Collingwood can trade for a pick within 28 and 35. That would be nice. I think that's what they're trying to do.
You wonder what they think with their forward line. You know, they've got Kaczynski and Mitchell Lewis, who are both late picks, and a couple of really good picks by the Hawks, but with Jack Gunston getting on a little bit, even Luke Bruce as well. Maybe they look to improve their forward line, but maybe they just take the best available. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go.
Well, Shifter, who is the best available? If you're Hawthorn right now, who are you looking at?
Well, will they go for the obvious one that was under their noses, a boy called Tyler Sonsi that played midfield too and had a game up at Box Hill. His first VFL game, had 22 and kicked a goal. And he's a star from the Eastern Ranges, coached there by Travis Clove. So he's one that just injured at the wrong time this year. So it was a short season it was, but I remember his first game, his best on the ground in the opening round of the NAB League at the start of the year, and had that great game at Box Hill. But then missed some of those, or that national challenge match. So not all went to plan for him this year, but he's a very talented player.
and it's a rarity to have another pick inside 30 for Hawthorn. I think last we saw they've only had 8 top 30 picks in the last 10 years. So it's been rare, but they've been a club that's been so good at being able to find some diamonds in the rough. You think of James Warple was at pick 45, Blake Hardwick was at pick 44. So whichever way they go, you know they're going to get a beauty.
I would love to get Darcy Moore on. Yeah, I'll interview. I'll put word out to all of these people, man. 100%. All it is a message, you know. If I have to contact their managers or whatever, yeah, 100%. No, I don't think Dib gets picked. Tom, you took the words right out of my mouth. I said I was gonna say he won't go before 40.
Senior experience to get in another pick. They weren't able to do it, but this is a long-term play for the Hawks, and they've just got to make sure they get the right pick. So they're taking their time. Sam Mitchell seems to be pretty hands-on from what we've heard. He's got a keen eye for the draft himself. So he was part of your draft as well, Joe. He was. He was the pick before me, pick 36 to the Hawks. And did they get that right? Following pick, I think they'll be pretty happy with the pick they took. Yeah.
Do you remember Sam Mitchell coming through, Shifter?
I do. Like, he's a dual best and fairest winner at the Eastern Ranges and
wasn't
wasn't
picked. Box Hill.
And wasn't picked. He had to win a Liston trophy, which he did on his pathway through to becoming then a rising star in the AFL and then a champion of the game. So what a story on perseverance.
That's right.
Believing in your talent.
The great story for any kid that doesn't get drafted tonight, that there's still other ways to get there and become one of the top greats.
With pick 26, Hawthorn have selected Connor McDonald from the Dandenong Stingrays.
Connor McDonald. Shifter knows everyone, huh? Nah, I don't even reckon Collingwood used 41 to get Dib if it's still there. Oh my God, boys. No, you're not getting any pizza. You're not allowed to. You're not allowed to eat it.
Love those boys that get it off hands before it gets to the deck. You know, and you see that at stoppings, off hands, even off packs. You know, the scene.
Good. Fuck Carlton. Fuck, I hate Carlton so much.
No surprise to see him go. It's just a case of
Arrogant. Fucking arrogant bunch of blues.
30 touches a game at the NAB League. Just knows how to get the footy. Smart IQ. Just one of those natural footballers. So not necessarily the best athlete out of this draft, but just knows how to play footy, and they've got themselves a good one there. But he's probably ready to play pretty early next season. Mick Ablett, you like this pick?
Yeah, certainly do, Tom. He's obviously from my neck of the woods out the Dandenong Stingrays, so very happy to see another one of those boys go. But I liken him a lot to a former Dandenong Stingray and Luke Davies-Uniacke. He's just like you say.
Watch Carlton pick Motlop, yeah. 100%. Boys, I can't eat your pizza. It's got too much onion stuff.
We hear a lot about that in modern day football and its ability to open up the game. He just does that.
They'll pick Motlop.
Pick 27. Carlton have selected Jesse Motlop from South Fremantle.
This production line of Motlops just continues. Shifter, tell us about Jesse Motlop.
Well, you've seen a smart forward here, and they can't match the bid. That's the interesting part here. So his dad, Daniel, he had some tricks, did he? Remember Daniel developing later physically? I remember seeing him as a really
17, 18 years of age. We didn't want him anyway. What can you do?
This boy's got all the tricks. First heard about it when he was a rising star up in the end.
Looks good though.
His scout was up there and thought that much of the way he played. He sent a text out, watch out for this kid. Well, of course, he ends up back in WA playing this year. Played in the grand final at senior level in the Waffle. Played in the state games for WA. So typical Motlop ability around the goal, innate ability.
What's Twitter saying?
And he's got a build ready to play senior footy pretty early on. He played about 30 games.
Fuck you, Carlton. Love that.
Played in the NT, as you said, then played Waffle Colts, a little bit of senior footy, school football as well, and of course West Australia.
Who do we want? A defender. When do we want it? Hopefully by pick 35. All right. No more pizza for me. Dumb. Rhett Bazzo. Tom, I am going to search up Rhett Bazzo. Here we go. Let's look at some Rhett Bazzo. Look, we don't really care about who's got next. Richmond. Fuck Richmond as well. Let's look at Rhett Bazzo highlights. I think Rhett Bazzo is number 1. He really looks good in black and white. Good mark. He's got good hands. He's got really good hands. Yeah, I like him. Tom, I like him. Bit like Moore. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I like him. That was a good mark as well. Richmond is still going. Yeah, look, I like him. Yeah, it looks like more Lever. Someone said Sam Taylor. The way he kind of sets up the play. He looks good. He looks good. Look up Isaiah Dudley.
Yeah, so they've got some sort of older players that have been so great for that footy club for a number of years, but they probably need to top up now in that midfield. We've got Collier Dawkins, Thompson Dow and Jack Ross have all been in the system for a couple of years, still trying to find their feet and establish themselves. We know they've got some other players, but maybe we think they might take some of the midfielders available.
With pick 28, Richmond have selected Tyler Sonsi from the Eastern Rangers.
And we profiled him just a few moments ago, the boy that we thought maybe a chance to end up at Hawthorn. I think Darcy Parish, for the way this boy plays, he hunts the footy, a natural ball winner. I'd love to ask him who taught him to kick.
It's quick. Where's he projected to go? Isaiah Dudley, if anyone knows.
Just so natural. The MVP back in the under-16 is a great point of reference for these boys out of Victoria that mightn't have played in their 17th year and only had a half a year in their 18th. Go back to when all
looks good. Yeah, can someone? Does anyone know where he might be going? Have we landed anyone yet? No. No. I said I wanted I wanted 35. I wanted 35. I don't think we hopefully we trade up to about that.
You've got your family there. What does it mean to them, do you think?
Yeah, it's unreal. Like, they'll know my dream come true, really. So, yeah, they're open more.
Congratulations, Tyler. I see you've got all your mates there as well. Let's hopefully you enjoy the night. Which one of your mates point out is going to be best on tonight now that you've got drafted? Who's going to celebrate the hardest?
Like, Connor McDonald.
So hang on. So two of you in the same room that got drafted?
Yeah.
Yes, Connor. There you go. Well done, boys. That's pretty exciting for the both of them.
Hey, just a quick question. Tell us about where you grew up, where you're from, what you did as a teenager, what sort of player you are, for those who don't know.
167 centimeters. That would make him smaller than Jamie Elliott. Jared Blair.
What about you, Connor? Are you proud of your mate? What are your thoughts on that potentially playing against him next year, Hawthorn versus Richmond?
Yeah, well, I've always played with him, so it'll be a good experience to play against him. Yeah, just super proud of him, and yeah, we've played with each other.
in juniors for a few years, and yeah, it's just really good to have him here and go through the same experience as him.
How's your last 24 hours been, Connor?
Hey!
Watching the draft last night, seeing
What are you doing?
the boys get drafted, having a sleep. How'd you sleep last night? Must be a relief now to finally heard your name called out.
Yeah, well, I wasn't really expecting anything last night, so I was looking forward to tonight. And yeah, just
Oh, it's Caleb Daniel 167 centimeters. No way. That's crazy.
Well done, Connor. Well done, Tyler. Great to chat to you both. Enjoy the night and make sure you celebrate.
Good boy.
That's awesome. How good's that? Two best mates sitting in a draft together, Joe. That's what
Absolutely it is. And a lot of these boys all know each other now. They all go through the academies and the state sides and play at their local footy clubs together. And then they go off and they go forward.
Collingwood to NAB 29 or 30. Please, Richmond.
How lucky are those two boys, though, really, when you think about it? One's gone to Hawthorn, one of the great clubs of the modern era, and then the other one in Richmond, who has been the greatest club in the last 4 or 5 years. So they're going to go to great environments. They're going to learn from the best, and hopefully sets them up to have wonderful careers.
I said Nick Geeshan's behind him as well. So is Nathan Freeman, who got drafted to Collingwood, went to St Kilda, so he's in player management as well with Connors. And, well, this is Tyler. This is his work.
Yeah, this is his work, and as we said, just a really natural footballer. I see a little bit of, I think it's Steve Canilio, the way that when he's up and about at his best, he can kick both sides, he can hit the scoreboard. He's got that footy nous. You knew there he was late to get to that stoppage. He's got a really good footy IQ. You can see there, picking the footy off, reading it well, and able to get forward, hit the scoreboard. He's had some injury troubles as well, but just smart, got a good goal sense, working through the contest. He's got that ability to win on the inside and outside.
One of the great recruits, Noel Judkin, said to me once about picking Dane, Swan and James Hird. It's that ability to grab it before it hits the deck, off hands, whether set a bounce or whether it's a crumb from a pack up forward. The built-in IQ of where the ball will go. That's the great ability of players like Tyler Sonsi.
And the confidence with these kicks. That's what we're seeing. All
Celeste, shout out. If you're watching still, I appreciate it. Collingwood gets picked 34. Give me $20 if I'm correct, Swoop. You guys think I'm made out of money? What's our first pick again? 45. If we get 34, I'll give you $10.
With pick 29, Richmond have selected Samuel Banks from the Tasmania Devils.
Fantastic. He's the first Tasmanian boy taken. And
Tasmania Devils, make it a real thing. Make it a real thing. Devils and demons are kind of different anyway.
Things can't always go to plan. And so he missed a fair bit of the season and come back with that wrist. It still needed a bit of work after the season was over. It wasn't quite right, tackling one hand, but still showed his class. I like him to a Bailey Dale, back behind the ball when he plays half back. But he can play on the wing as well. He debuted for the Tassie Devils, their under-18 side over there as a 16-year-old and held his own. He's barely 16 at the time. So he's following Taron Thomas, Will. But there's the next one out of Tassie. He hadn't let us down. We noticed that most people hadn't put him in 40.
Come on, Pies. Do something with 30. Do something with 30 and pick up. Pick up.
Yeah, so a bit more of an outside player, and that's the ability when you've got 3 picks in a row for Richmond, they can maybe mix up and get that balance right with who they want to add to that midfield, and he's certainly got that outside class and run and dash that can maybe make it as a halfback flanker.
Mick, Shifter said that some clubs may have forgotten about him. You didn't forget about him. You thought he was a good player all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, he's a player for mine that's
What the fuck am I?
always involved in the contest, and that's what I loved. He just tends to hang around, give himself every opportunity to be involved, whether that's at stoppage, whether it's getting as an attacking.
Show me second round, you dogs.
Really hard worker and a traditional Tassie product that certainly not afraid of contact, that's for sure. So the Tigers have got themselves a nice ball-winning, tough inside mid that can certainly create opportunities around him.
Do you reckon Mychek will be a first round pick? No, I don't think it'd be a first round pick. No one's really after tall defenders like that. And he was mature age as well. He'd probably still go third or fourth. He'd probably go third. But he didn't, did he? He went rookie. Now that he can, if it was redone now and everyone knew hindsight, he can go forward and play. He'd probably go late second. Renegades are 6 for 30. I'm a Stars man myself. Yeah, that's exactly right, Tom. I think we picked him up when he was like 23, 24. Next pick is 45.
I think the speculation would help and hurt some kids. Some kids might actually be better off.
Just reminding you guys. Let me just control it. It's so.
Overanalyze, can't you? You look at a player, you start to come up with all the things they can't do rather than the things they can. Go back to when they played well. That's the way I look at it for those.
Oh, no, that's not telling me anything.
A couple of years, and that's where I go with Banks. He was the MVP back then.
We've just got 45, something else, and 45, 51, 69.
He looked an absolute star there off half-back and playing on the wing. The people of Tassie are great footy judges too. Maddie Armstrong, people like that that have worked in the program for many years will rank this boy as a player.
Fuck, Hawthorn have had Richmond have had 15 minutes, and they're taking 4 minutes for a third pick. No, we're not screwed this draft. We got Nick Dacos, the best player in the country at pick 4. That's a huge steal. Everything else is a bonus.
Get a beauty in the later rounds because they just haven't seen them enough, and you're speculating. And there's going to be development, and when kids aren't playing,
Jesse, I wish I could skip this, mate. Can't.
We'll look back in 5-6 years' time, and we'll wonder how did this player get through to pick 30, pick 35, pick 40, but it would simply have been a lack of exposure and someone's been prepared to take the risk and they turn out to be a superstar of the competition. I've got no doubt someone in these later rounds will be an absolute beauty.
Shane Edwards, an All-Australian, is also in that list management room at the moment. He was in there last year, he's in there again, so maybe we have a future list manager.
Charlie Dean.
There, like Andrew Mackie at Geelong.
So 35 for Williamstown, Charlie Dean.
After playing football, and we've got Brad Scott not far away.
With pick 30, Richmond have selected Judson Clark from the Dandenong Stingrays.
Well, finally, it's about goals. I think the game's about kicking goals, and we've got a small forward.
Judson. It's interesting first name.
Sub 8 seconds for the AFL agility run. And then he had a day that we all love seeing. Sam Darcy at 12.
Oh, Charlie Dean.
The boy for Vic Country was Judson Clark kicking 5. They were spectacular goals down at Werribee, I think it was. Love seeing that. He dodges around them and he's got radar around the goals. He's got that a bit of Tom Papley about him, you know, with a bit of a strut and I'm going to kick this, I'll take you on, see you later. Around he goes on the left. He's a lefty, and that performance reminds us that this boy's got some real AFL attributes. He come off an ACL too. Many of the boys have had that at some stage in their
clean hands.
Until 17th year, so he's had that adversity. Then it tests your resolve and your love of the game a fair bit to get back from that.
He looks good.
He certainly found the best that day.
Well, this selection right in Richmond's wheelhouse. These are the type of players they've been drafting for years. These smalls that can play midfield forward. They've got that running power. You think of, Jack Graham and Castagna and Rioli, Lambert, Dan Butler we saw as the comparisons. Yeah, they love those players that have got that ability to get up the field, get back towards goal, hit the scoreboard, apply pressure, but also win it through the midfield. So it just ticks the box for the type of recruit that Richmond have been.
I agree, Jaden. I agree, mate.
Mick, do you like the look of Judson? Do you think he can play some senior footy next year?
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. I really like, as Joey just mentioned, his ability to tie in with someone like a Daniel Rioli where, they can alternate getting up the ground where they obviously find the footy. We saw his numbers come up on the ball where he averages just shy of 18 disposals. So there's no issue there. And then the ability to get back and really hit the scoreboard is important for the Tigers.
With pick 31, the West Coast Eagles have selected Brady Howe from Peel Thunder.
Peel Thunder boy shifter. No surprise, or how do you read that selection?
Terrific pick, and sometimes it can be your last game, and he debuted at senior level at the last.
Is Peel Thunder? That's Northern Territory. Is Peel Northern Territory? No, I think that's Western Australia, isn't it? It's good that they're kind of taking out. No, I could have sworn Peel Thunder was Perth, Western Australia. Okay. Mandurah, nice. It's good that they're kind of taking out the they're taking out that go home factor, which it's very prominent in the AFL, and they're taking that away with these clubs like Freo picking 3 picks. Their first 3 picks were all WA players, so that's good. 5 minutes is way too long, bro. You've had 24 hours to work on deals. God damn.
Yeah, great to see West Coast take another local product from WA. This kid came through through that same sort of system and pathway as Jai Amos that we saw taken in the top 10 last night by Fremantle. I remember seeing they were the two players that stood out of that group coming from that southwest region. He just provides a really difficult matchup. I remember watching him going, geez, this kid's got some footy smarts. He just sees things unfold that split second earlier than others, and he's just as adept at ground level, but at 189 centimetres, he shot up quite a bit, and he's quite strong in the air as well. So he's going to provide some headaches for opposition teams, and another kid out of a really good country zone over here in WA. And I know former Peel talent manager John Dietz that went on to work at the Gold Coast Suns has always been a really big rap on this kid. So fantastic to see him get his opportunity.
Joe, it seems like there's lots of clubs.
That's awesome, Jesse. That's pretty sick.
West Coast just then, Geelong taking Geelong Falcons. Must be if there's a 50-50 weighing up decision, they take the kid that's in their region. Well, I think so. I think it's just a bit of a bonus. You've got a player that you really like. He's local. You know, you don't have to relocate. You don't have to worry necessarily about them potentially, moving it and the go-home factor. I think it's just a bonus because they certainly have them rated where they have them on their list. They want them at the football club, and West Coast have got no one they've been able to keep from WA.
With pick 32, the Geelong Cats have selected James Willis from North Adelaide.
What you talking about, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
No surprise to me. Tough, competitive beast. Don't you love to see those kids get through? And he's got great natural athleticism. He's got the beautiful combination of speed.
Who should we look for?
Just the way he attacks the ball.
Like I said, we're kidding ourselves if we don't pick up a key defender. Unless Craig and Lepper have told Will Kelly, mate, you're in the back line. That's it. She's right. We'll be kidding ourselves if we don't pick up a key defender.
Prolific ball winner. He was averaging in the 20, about the 25 for the year in his games at under 18 level. Even had some 34s and kicking goals and looked to be breaking out as a real star. But that injury kept him off the radar, but the Cats haven't missed him.
Yeah, another one that had injuries as a junior. A lot of
Is he wearing goggles? Was he wearing goggles, that kid?
An ankle injury, a shift to late in the year, but powerful, competitive, strong tackler, contested ball. The type of player that Geelong love to have at their football club.
Nick, you surprised? You like it? What were you expecting with Geelong's pick here?
I labelled him the finisher. In the stuff that I saw,
he does look good, Manny.
Really nailing that final possession, and whether that was
I'd like him. Yeah, Carlson. Good point. If we didn't trade pick 31, we would have lost it in the Dacos thing. So, what can you fucking do? I bit my lip eating that pizza, man. Oh, but I bit my top lip, not even my bottom lip. How the hell does that happen?
Very, very polished product, and
Oh.
Geelong, a nice bit of outside class, which I think they've been craving for a little bit now. So, nice selection.
All right, the Swans are up next. Nick, we'll keep checking back in with you over in WA. There's a bit of activity there as well. I should have said before.
What else do we want to watch while this while this draft's on before Collingwood get a pick? You want to watch more highlights? You want to watch Collingwood highlights? Or chuck them on YouTube.
Enjoy that very much. Right, the Swans just had one pick. What are they looking at, Shifter? What sort of player? Who's on the board?
I don't know where they'll go. I'll be guessing here.
All right, Jurdle, we're going to go Josh. How the hell do you pronounce that surname? Wrenched. Josh Wrenched. Josh.
Young Warner's a bit like an Andrew Gaff. Imagine Andrew as a young fella getting up and down the ground, and an enormous runner, an athlete that just links up so well from right deep in defence and can hit the scoreboard as well. And he showed at the draft combine. Sometimes just a little thing bobs up. He did 100-centimetre running vertical jump. Got some power there. You love to see that from a smaller player. He's just around the 6 foot mark.
He don't got no highlights. He don't got no highlights.
For the St Kilda Academy player, Tito Owens. What can you tell us about him, Shifter?
Well, I think the Saints will match the bid. That's what I'm saying. Straight away, this boy. Have they? Straight away. It took them 10 seconds. Owens is the boy that take your opportunity message.
No highlights for him.
The rep game, Metro versus Country, last minute change in Mitch Owens. Someone's out injured.
Hey, thank you, mate.
29. He's in the best half a dozen on the ground.
Dudes, I'm so happy with City's performance. They smashed it. Messi couldn't even do it in Manchester, let alone in France. Bid pending.
Centimetres. He went from the 180 to the 179. Run-of-the-mill midfielder, I suppose. To the boy that can mark the ball, great at stoppages, can run. So it's that
Who did they just pick?
17th, 18th year growth spurt.
Michido Owens. Michido sounds like a Pokemon name. Fuck, would this be a good video? I just had an idea because of Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl. If I went through the Collingwood list and who reminds me of what Pokemon, would that be a good video? I reckon that'd be pretty funny. Because, like, for example, Braden Maynard reminds me of this is Braden Maynard. That's Braden Maynard to me. Isn't that bros? Okay.
St Kilda have matched the Sydney Swans bid for Michido Owens from the Sandringham Dragons.
Is that not Braden Maynard right there? That's Brozzy all day long. Nah, Carlson, I didn't play the original Diamond and Pearl game, so this is all new to me. Give me another player. This is fun. Give me another player while this fucking draft's going on. I know it's a draft thing, but this is fun. Mason Cox. Mason Cox. This is Mason Cox. I don't know how to fucking spell it. This is Mason Cox. Executor, but the I thought it was Galarian, but it's not. It's the Alola form. That's Coxie. Oh, fuck. That's Coxie, 100%. Mason Cox. Darcy Moore. Huh. Darcy Moore. Get down, bud. All right, I want to get back. I love Chimchar.
I think he just adds a different dynamic, and maybe that's why they went towards Wanganeen and Malira on the outside, because they knew they've got a couple of these sort of players that can play through that midfield forward coming in later in the draft.
And he's running under their nose as well. Jack Henty runs the MGA at St Kilda, and they've got a fair few boys who are ready to be taken either in the draft or in the rookie draft maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, Nick Delfano coaching them as well,
yep.
So I'm sure he's put some work into them, and hopefully they can have an impact for St Kilda sooner rather than later, although they probably are a bit more of a project player. What about the Swans?
This is Scott Pendlebury.
So he may make some bids. Marcus Winhager is one of those too. Another next gen academy boy from St Kilda.
Fuck, what's his name?
I like a boy called Cooper Hamilton too.
This is Scott Pendlebury. The GOAT. Wrench is a power forward, 197 centimeters, 100 kilos. I gotta Google this guy. What was his name? Josh Wrench? Yeah. I spelled his name wrong. Big boy. Jesus. Oh, that's when he was 15. Look how tall he is.
Wonderful, but Rampy's getting on a bit in age. They've got Malik, and they might be a bit thin in the back line. So maybe they're looking at seeing if they can find an up-and-coming key.
Looks like he's got a good size on him as well.
So potentially they're looking at some sort of rebounding or key defender. You often talk about the need to have...
Nothing happening with Dib much.
I don't necessarily think you're going to have too many midfielders. We've seen Melbourne and...
Graham Wright looks like Bulbasaur. This Bulbasaur? Poor Graham Wright. He doesn't look like It doesn't look like Bulbasaur.
Safe option that can then spill out, but sometimes you might need the needs basis. They've got a fair bit of big going for them in the midfield. You think of Ollie Florence, and they've got a couple of kids. They had a great draft last year with those academy products. That
so hard, but yeah, maybe that'll be a good good thing. Mate, nothing's happening in the fucking draft. It's still Sydney's pick. They've had 5 minutes and they've done nothing. Here we go. Finally.
Pick 34, the Sydney Swans have selected Matthew Roberts from South Adelaide.
Another South Adelaide product. Their second, that's fantastic. He's a no-fuss player, and he's your midfielder on the inside too. Stepped up and played some good senior footy in South Adelaide with Jason Horn-Francis as well. Even in a final, kicked a couple in the final.
Sam, what position are we picking up with 45? I hope it's a defender. Key defender or not, I hope it's a defender.
Two or three times. You can't afford to at the pace of the AFL's play, and he's a great safe pick, I think, Maddie Roberts for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, again, I love this. Just again, a natural footballer. You see there maybe a bit of a slight question mark on his athleticism, but you know what he can do. He knows how to find the footy. He knows how to use it. He's a beautiful distributor. You can see there his left leg. He can play in a number of positions, and I think he's probably one that is ready-made. A bit like Sheldrick, they can come in and have an impact straight away. So. It's a great get. All right, let's have a chat to him. Maddie Roberts joins us on the line, presumably from Adelaide. You must be stoked. Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh, it's just lost of words, really. Like, just over the moon to be given an opportunity and just like.
God damn. I reckon maybe we don't even do anything. You know, I just want to get to the Collingwood's first pick. Let's go. You reckon there's a chance we can get a ruck or forward and push him back? No, there's no real point in doing that. You you may as well just draft a defender if you want to do that. Does Lipper play forward, middle, or wing? I think Lipper will play on the wing to start and then maybe go inside. Depends if Dacos. Depends if Degoe is playing or not, you know. Excuse me.
Yeah, she's probably gonna struggle a bit, I think.
How long does round? I think round 2 finishes at pick 39.
Really well done tonight. Congratulations, and looking forward to seeing what you can do for the Sydney Swans. Oh, that's great. There you go. He's going to enjoy the night with the boys too now. No worries. Goodbye to you as well, Matty.
So round 2 finishes at 38. And our first pick isn't until 45.
With pick 35, North Melbourne have selected Paul Curtis from the Western Jets.
Yeah, boy from the Western Jets and the goal kicker again.
If Degoe goes via free agency, should we get a first round combo pick? Yeah. If Degoe goes via free agency, there is no reason why we shouldn't get a top 5 pick for him. Honestly, there's no reason why we shouldn't get a top 5 pick for him. What's I know it's all the drafts and stuff, but fuck, Collingwood's not on, so calm your farms. Compensation picks, AFL. I want to see what's the highest what's the highest pick of a club has got. So they'd have to pay him percent of rankings, top 5% of rankings. Melbourne received pick 3 when James Frawley joined Hawthorn in 2014, but Hawthorn only received pick 19 when Lance Franklin left for Sydney in 2013. What the fuck? What the hell? That's cooked. That is absolutely cooked. What the hell did Hawthorn offer Frawley? Didn't Sydney offer Franklin like $1 million or 1.2 a year?
I mean, Josh is all their boys are talented, but obviously tonight, Tyler Sonzi, one of the more talented players in the draft, and he's had some injury issues.
No. Does it? Oh, it is. Well, that's just fucking stupid then. So what's the point? Fuck, they make this so complicated, man. Hey, Tyson. Good, mate. Hope you're well.
Now, I know drafts can really propel a team towards a premiership. In 5, 6, 7 years' time, will we be looking back and going, wow, this was a pretty impressive haul from the Tigers?
Oh, we hope so. Yeah, I mean, it's great when you can bring together a group of boys in this number, and hopefully they can play together and come through as a wave, like we've had in the past with a few of our guys coming from the
Search up Jed Rule.
With 5 picks inside the top 30, well done. You've earned a nice long sleep.
Ah.
A glass of red, Maddie.
Later on, for sure. Beautiful. Thank you to Sarah. Thank you to Maddie Clark from Richmond. So 3 picks in a row for the Tigers. It's pretty rare you get to see that really ever since Gold Coast and the Giants entered the competition. They'd be pretty happy with how they went. Yeah, absolutely. And as they said, Tyler Sonsi.
That's not Jed Rule. Fuck.
He's a high-end talent. As I said, had some injuries and
Yep. No Jed Rule highlights.
As you said, they've just stocked up and topped up with 5, really talented young kids to go with the players they're going to get back next year. No doubt Richmond are going to be a team.
Come on, pick 45. Who are we welcoming?
So you think the Tigers are going to be playing finals footy for a long time to come? It's been a while since we've had a pick swap. We're waiting to see one come through potentially to do with the Adelaide Crows or even Collingwood or GWS or whoever else wants to get it done. It's interesting, isn't it, though? These clubs, they want to be inventive, they want to be attacking, but more often than not, they just go with what they know, the players that they know really well. Yeah, probably a little bit of a surprise shift that we haven't seen more trading up. We sort of heard throughout today that there were some clubs that would be looking to get up higher into the 20s and try and nab one of these talented midfielders, particularly through the sharp. We haven't seen that. So they've stuck to the order that we came into tonight with, so that's interesting. So whether the clubs are ahead of them, felt that they also had some talent there, but we thought there might have been a little bit more action than there has been.
Yeah, I think there's 2 to tango, and I think the one that wouldn't tango is the one that's looking at the board now saying, I'm happy where I'm placed. There's still good players on the board. I'm not going to give up my positioning on this right at the minute for that offer that I haven't considered good enough.
So there could be a trade here.
Oh.
Crows, I mean, they would be used to the trade.
Pies? Pies?
They wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to stay in the first round. They're happy to move back later picks. We've got 30 seconds left to make their call. Wouldn't be surprised if a club is going to them now and saying, hey, what about this? Well, this might be an opportunity for a club that wants to get into
Pies?
get higher up the order. We've seen a lot of clubs, Tommy, in this draft period that started off with
Come on.
picks. So you think about
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Give me that pick 36.
Port Adelaide, Brisbane, they have a lot of early picks and then haven't got any picks in this sort of 2nd or 3rd round through this period.
Come on, come on.
That might want to get back in. So maybe that's
Fuck, there goes that 5 minutes. Give me that 36. Give me the 36. Come on, Righty. Berlin, Ralph. Ralph from Berlin. Huge. Thank you. A big hi to you, Ralph. Love it. So they've definitely got a trade in the works.
be able to slide back and also, get something else. You can see there some of the labs. Zach Taylor's probably one of the surprise.
Hey, Ashbeen. Lalu.
Howe's was one that we thought there was some early phantom drafts that had him pick 19 to Melbourne, so he's also on the board. Maybe it is Melbourne at pick 39 who see Howe's still on the board, who might want to slide up and nab him as well.
Yeah, I'm told that there's a trade in the works between the Crows and the Demons, so we'll wait and see exactly what that is and how it transpires, whether future picks are involved. I think the Pies and GWS as well are involved in trade discussions regarding future picks, which we care about, but what we want to know is what picks they are this year at the moment.
Yeah, the pick swaps don't really interest us too much, Tom. But they're clubs, they put a lot of thought into it. There's a lot of science that goes behind it to be able to have a stronger draft hand the following year. Clubs come in and out of the picks. I think there's already been, Maxie Lawton was saying upstairs, there's something like already half the future third-round picks next year have already swapped hands between the trade periods and whatever. So there's a lot more of that going on as it becomes a bit more sophisticated with the recruiting and the points and all those sorts of things. So they're taking their time.
So that's Jason Taylor on the phone, is the list boss at Melbourne Footy Club. Justin Reid is...
Oh, my God. Come on.
Just talking about the future picks, they haven't got the same line of sight as they've had because of COVID on their future picks. Most years you've seen the kids at under 16 level that a whole futures program in their 17th year, including a curtain raiser grand final day of the best 50 in the country, and then they go away saying, oh, gee, this looks a special group. I need to get into the first round, or I can't give up my first round choice next year. So they haven't had that lead in. They have seen a couple of state games at a 17 level. The two Vicks met on a couple of occasions, and so did SAWA. But they haven't been able to compare them all. But it still looks a pretty good group, but without being able to see them all on the one stage.
So I'm told the trade between the Adelaide Crows and the Melbourne Footy Club wasn't approved. It's been declined by the AFL. So we'll go back to square one and see what the Crows want to do with this pick 36. That must have been Melbourne trying to get up and get a player that they think the Crows might be taking with pick 36. And for whatever reason, the AFL said no.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out why that hasn't been approved, what it was, why it wasn't. But the Crows have kept pick 36.
With pick 36, the Adelaide Crows have selected Jake Seligo from the Eastern Range.
All that for that.
Good young player, a midfielder. 180 centimetres, not over big, a bit like you, Joey. I think he's just a smart player. Love all he does in level of consistency. His kicking is great depth. Games where he'd kick it from outside 50. So for his size, a wonderful kick, a good decision maker. He's got the clean hands that you want to see. I'd say he's a bit like a Rory Sloane, who also come from out there at the Eastern Ranges. Unassuming type of guy that plays well every time he steps out in the park.
So you compared him to Joey? You think he plays like Joey?
Well, he reminds me physically of the young Joey.
I think Dacos wants to play half back to start off with. If the goalies finish next year for the Pies, what pick range do you think we would get? Yeah, like we were talking about before. It just depends if he gets picked. If he gets paid in the top 5%, we can get a first round compensation. Oh, Collingwood trade. So we get round 4 2022 and pick 48. Huge. Give me 1 sec. I've got a post about this.
So that's the Crows. They picked up Jake Seligo, and you see a trade here as well. So Collingwood's moved up. They've picked up pick 48 in this year's draft. They've given up a future fourth rounder for next year. And the Giants are involved in that as well with the Pies. Pick 37 is next, Joey. That's where you went all the way back in 2001, 20 years ago.
Long time ago. Pick 37. And as we talk about some diamonds in the rough, well, there's a history of pick 37. Mark McCrar, a couple of 200 gamers, Todd Goldstein, Harrison Petty.
So future round 4.
37 years ago. So as we said, there's big hype on the top 20, but you can always find a diamond in the rough, such as yourself.
With pick 37, the West Coast Eagles have selected Rhett Bazzo from the Waffle Colts SDFC.
Another local boy.
And the boy that Nick Ablett talked up, I think was even last night. He's the intercept marker.
Hopefully he can live up to pick 37.
Hand over to you, Mick, because you've seen him firsthand.
Yeah, Mick, tell us about this boy. What does he do? What should West Coast fans be most excited about?
Yeah, well, boys, I mentioned last night that I had him in my top 10. I just think he was one of the best prospects.
What was that draft? Can someone tell me? We gave pick 55. Oh, there you go, Rhett Bazzo. Gone to West Coast Eagles. Fucking hell.
He'll learn under Jeremy McGovern. That's the reality of the type of player he is, that intercept marker. He's even going to be able to go forward. So in 12 months' time, when Josh Kennedy moves...
I'm just going to go backwards a little bit. Just bear with me. I need to see what this trade was. Well, actually, I might be able to find it live. What the hell? Sorry, guys.
AFL people will be wondering why this kid went at pick 37. Nothing wrong with pick 37, Nick. We'll put that in the time capsule. Based on what you've seen from West Coast so far, this draft with a winger, a defender, and a midfielder, where do you think their list is at?
Well, I think it's at a really interesting point, to be honest. I mean, you've got the ageing stars who we know with the Shannon Hearns and Josh Kennedy's, as we mentioned. Brad Shepherd probably more on the back end of his career than at the start. So it is at an interesting point, but they've done a fantastic job over the last
sweet.
year. You think of players like Jake Waterman, Tom Barras, Tommy.
Thanks, legends. I appreciate you all.
That I mentioned. These are some players that you can really build your core group around and have another crack at a premiership in the coming years. That's not to say that they can't have one last crack at it with the group that they've got. They've brought Tim Kelly in, obviously, over the last couple of years, who's added some real class to that group. They had their injury concerns over the last 12 months, but you can almost pencil in most of the games over here in WA. So I think they're really well positioned for the future.
With pick 38, North Melbourne have selected Miller Bergman from the Dandenong Stingrays.
Not surprised with this boy. I certainly had him as a draftable player. A boy of about the 188, but light. I think of Will.
45 and 48 could be packaged up. Oh, it doesn't really fucking matter. Not really. But that's pretty good. That's 3 picks in the space of a couple minutes. Well, probably about in the space of half an hour.
Half forward, half back. Those 3 roles he played this year just lacks the weight at the minute at 70 kilos, but that elite kicking is what he brings to the table.
Another one of those outside sort of talented that we spoke about that maybe the Kangaroos need a little bit more of. We know they're pretty well stacked now in the midfield, particularly in that inside midfield with Horn Francis. They've got Green.
Pick 48, 48, and
they drafted a couple in.
So now
they now get a bit of those flankers that have got some athleticism and some kicking ability and some run. That's probably where they're now starting to fill.
So we've got 45,
their inside mids, the Kangaroos.
48,
they're starting to fill the
and
on top of getting Coleman Jones, in the trade period with Larkey and a couple of the other tall forward rucks, they're starting to really build a strong list now that they can continue to develop in the next few seasons.
Not bad. Good size.
They won't have another one until round 4 when they'll pick 64.
With pick 39, Melbourne have selected Blake Howe from the Sandringham Dragons.
Yeah, 2 defenders and Dib. That might be the call, mate. Maybe they do end up picking Dib. 84 views. What's going on? Remember, if you're not following me on Instagram, Swoop Luke, Twitter Swoop Luke, TikTok Swoop Luke, Facebook Swoop Luke, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. All right, we're coming up soon.
Absolutely, as we said, he's moved at pick 19 to Melbourne, so I think the D's will be absolutely wrapped to have got him at 39. He's a player that's, as we said, been able to play.
Arlo Draper. Yeah, I don't see why we couldn't. I saw Arlo's name somewhere before as well, didn't I?
What I've seen of him, he's got that good athleticism. You can see he wins contests.
Oh, I saw him because I said that he had such a good name.
Potentially, as we said, going through it as an inside mid, I really like this selection for Melbourne, and they've done well here, the D's. Yeah, the D's pick 39. So I guess when you win a premiership and you've got a pretty full list of talent, you can just pick and choose exactly who you want and just slot them in.
Oh no, this is what I want to check.
In the VFL and see how it develops there, Joe. Yeah, but he's another 16 All-Australian, so all the recruiters have been able to.
So Cal had Arlo at 15.
190 centimetre player that can do it, in forward half. In the midfield, which is the type of
180, so he's a midfielder, but can play forward. Same height as Dacos.
In the modern times, and this guy fits the bill and a really nice athlete, really nice size.
Nick, what are your thoughts on Blake Howe? He's drifted a little bit, and the D's would be stoked to pick him up, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I'm with Joey. I love this kid. I think he's a very, very good player, and I think the D's have absolutely nailed it again. He just looks to have a huge ceiling, and that's what you want in a draftee. You want to know that there's a lot of scope for improvement there, and he certainly has that. Again, some more class on the outside for the D's. They've got those ball winners in Oliver and Viney and Petrarca and the likes on the inside. This kid gives them some class to complement the Salems and the like. Should have gone a lot earlier for mine, so nice pick up by the D's.
I was with Blake Howe at a Hemisphere Sports Management event on Tuesday night, and he was saying he's just happy to go anywhere. And the fact that he's staying in Melbourne, I'd imagine.
All right. Views are starting to go up now that Collingwood's starting to get into it. Let's fucking go.
He'll get some good grounding, and he'll learn off some of the best and try and force his way into the side. All right, great start. Round 2 is done and dusted. Round 3 is not far away. Stay with us on Fox Footy's coverage of the 2021 National Draft.
So that's the second round done.
This protects the Duco from the sun. This stops the timber getting wrecked by the UV. Always put the sun, mate. Keeps it in good nick.
When we cover things, they last longer. Same goes for you. Twice as many men as women die from melanoma in Australia. At its most aggressive, skin cancer can spread to internal organs like the lungs and brain and become deadly quicker than you think. Be sun smart. Save your skin.
Climb a tower and be a princess, get shot at with arrows, wizards throwing spell packets. It's an amazing feeling. It's euphoric.
There are so many ways we can live better. Search Medibank Live Better to find yours.
So, hopefully Mum's not watching, but I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow. Fucking can't wait for that.
That's why I've teamed up with U-Foods to launch their new fueled range. 30 high-protein meals designed to keep you full of...
Why do they need? Because they need to do fucking Hello Fresh meals, man. Or whatever this is. U-Foods. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Let's get that extra business phone sorted. Oh, my neck. Fuck. Thank you for jumping on. We've been gone for an hour and a half already, which I appreciate. Nah, what's the point of a 42-44? You know? And that's a lot to give up for that's 6 picks for 2 picks. Mate, they should let me host the drafts next year. We would just fucking go through it. I'd give everyone 45 seconds, not even a full minute. Get it over and done with, man. You've had... But I get that they do have all this time to trade picks, and then they trade on the day because some players get picked and, you know, they wanted that player, et cetera, et cetera. But fuck me, 5 minutes is the biggest overkill. 5 minutes is even too long for a shower, you know what I mean? 45-second shower. Nah, 35-minute shower. Nah, save water, please. I want my grandkids to have an earth to come to. All right, I need another drink. Be back.
Butler coming up next as well, which is amazing seeing him and his brother was with him. Sonsi, McDonald, Roberts, they're all there. He's going to the Sydney Swans. And it's unbelievable that Sonsi boys, their lives are being made. Absolutely. It's just the best night of their lives up until this point in time. They're living out their boyhood dreams. They get to go to AFL clubs, and there's still a lot of nervous players at the moment sitting at home just praying and hoping that their name's going to get called out in these last couple of rounds. But it is one of the great moments for not only the players, but also their family and friends who have been on the journey with them, taking them to local games of footy and everything else. So it's been great. Shift to the Sydney Swans on the continent.
I'm back. Love you too, Kev.
Pick number 40, so Melbourne Footy Club before the break, select Blake Howe at the last selection of the second round. He thought that was a bit of a surprise, and he drifted that far. Sydney Swans are up next. They've got 4 minutes to go. We thought they might look for some more midfielders, Joey. Yeah, we did. And again, the Swans are a club that have had some success with some of these later picks. Tom McCartan was a pick 33. Chad Warner was a pick 39 a few years ago. Justin McInerney, who's become a really good player for the Swans, was pick 44. And even Jordan Dawson at pick 56. So Kinnear Beatson and his team have had some success in recent years. Rowbottom and Hayward are post pick 20 as well. So they've got some success. And just a couple of interesting notes we've noted so far, Tom, with this draft. It seems to be a real homegrown draft. So you mentioned the Western Australian club. Out of the 6 picks for the 2 Western Australian clubs.
Yeah, John, I think you're right, mate. There's been so much hate for this draft on Twitter and stuff like that. So much backlash that they might overhaul it. Give me 1 sec. I just got to, since we're coming up to Collingwood's picks, I just want to grab this. Oh, look, it's me. How do I copy? How do I get the fucking copy video URL? All right.
It might spook them a bit, no matter how good your environment is. You still might lose players because they want to go home for family reasons. It's going to sunny type of reasons. Well, we've seen it with Jordan Dawson, haven't we? Sydney Swans developed him, took him pick 56, developed him into an almost all-Australian caliber player, and then for reasons that are fair, wanted to go home. But
exactly, Nums. What's the point of a timer if you can go over time? There's literally no point. A timer is so you can keep time, dude.
Needs to be approached if you think he's far better than the other.
And this is the other surprise. I think of the night, as we said earlier, we thought there would be a lot of
You okay, Lex?
trades, a lot of swapping of picks that
Come here, bud. Come here, baby. Up. Good boy.
To slide down the draft order. They're not quite sure, so they're just sticking with what they know and what their board says and just trusting themselves. All right, so there's
Thank you.
a trade of picks. We see that there. Port Adelaide get pick 55 in, and Carlton get a future 4th rounder again. That's the Port's way of getting up and maybe even getting a player they have on their whiteboard this year, Joey. Well, that's right. They've certainly maybe got their eye on someone that they think can get through to 55.
Whoa. What are you doing?
A 4th round pick next year. And maybe vice versa.
Buddy, what are you doing?
They've got their board think that everyone that they really had their eye on, they weren't going to take any more picks, I didn't think anyway, did they? There was always talk that Carlton were just going to have the 1 pick to get the small forward, so they don't need 55.
Kiss. Good boy, thank you. You're slipping. You're going to fall. Thanks for all the hair, buddy. Yeah, I think you're right, mate. We traded heaps last year. I think we made 8-9 trades last year. Thanks, Tommy. That's Lex, the Whippet. Hey, Sydney. Fuck me. My God. I reckon we...
Pick 40, the Sydney Swans have selected Corey Warner from East Fremantle.
Everyone fucking knew this, man. ED, Whippets are such good pups. These two are little shitheads, but they're good pups.
Because they have a brother there. No doubt they've seen traits they like with Corey, and certainly he is one of those ones, isn't he, shifted?
Fuck, this is literally putting me to sleep. How do these guys just... I guess because there's 3 of them, they can talk amongst themselves. But, it's crazy, man. Lloyd, thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. First time YouTube, middle-length Twitter follower. Thank you so much. I I appreciate the support. Welcome to Swoop League. So are we thinking Charlie? Are we thinking Charlie Dean is one of our picks? Yeah, man. I'm gonna do a video on the fixture show when it comes out. Look, I've got so many videos in my head that I want to do, but fucking, I just haven't had time. Work has been absolutely screwing me, but that's all right. I'll make them eventually. There's a lot of preseason to go through. Dars, what's going on, man? Love your support as always. Bless you.
Really give him some outside polish and class, and as we say, he's certainly going to fit in very, very nicely in Sydney alongside his brother.
And we love that, don't we, Joey? A couple of brothers playing alongside each other, hopefully next year. Absolutely. Yeah, we've had a few. The Kernos are at Carlton, and there's a few brothers playing together. But no, it's a good get by the Swans. And as we said, played a few Waffle League games for East Freo at the end of the season. And he's running is his greatest strength, and he'll fit in. Yeah, the Swans, they've taken a couple of those inside mids or those bigger body, and now they've complemented that with a bit of outside run.
He's the running man. He's the Andrew Gaff of this draft, I think. Just an elite outside
Big
runner.
call, the Andrew Gaff of the draft. Yeah, and he's a steal.
And Chad, of course, remember, rising star early last year, had some injuries, but gee, he's going to be a real player as an inside.
Making too many signs for the bedroom. Nah. Not making signs, just quoting, man. Quoting, putting purchase orders in. I'm not on the floor at the moment, so here we go.
With pick 41, the Brisbane Lions have selected James Tunstall from East Perth.
Bit of a bolter here, Shifter. What do you make of this selection for the Lions?
Another boy from Bustleton. Yeah, Bunbury boy from the grammar school.
Bustleton. Where the fuck is Bustleton? Jack Williams, Arlo Draper. Did we search Arlo Draper highlights? What am I looking at? Oh, that kid there. Lots of hugs. Good tackle. Good tackle. Good tackle. Is this Bo? Are we watching Bo McCreary highlights? Good mark. That's bread and butter, though. That's play on. I just want to play Pokemon, man. Good mark. Very good kick as well off one step. I want this Draper kid, man. I want this Draper kid, and I want him now. Draper was predicted to go 20. That's fucked. Jack Williams.
Whether he's inside or outside, does he look backwards? He likes to get the footy moving forward, likes to get it inside. So it's a really nice pickup. Maybe a bit of a surprise that he's gone this early in the draft, but
good overhead mark.
In the East Perth Footy Club, ex-West Coast Eagle player Dean Turner, now the CEO down there.
Good kick.
Clearly getting some good talent out of that neck of the woods.
Thank you, Mick. We'll check back in with you in just a few moments' time. I want to talk to you about the WA talent and how strong it is this year, maybe compared to previous years. But as we speak, there's a pick that's come from the Dogs for Josh Faye, who's in the GWS Academy. Tell us about that.
Cool. We don't care.
I could say, I've got to come mid-20s, this boy. Won the medal for the best player for Australia, just ahead of Nick Dacos, by the way, for that game against Geelong. So he had a fantastic game, a left footer, powerful.
He looks good, this kid.
From halfback, I liken him to Daniel Ridgely.
Could he be? Look, I'm just seeing him the same amount that you guys are seeing him. Is he someone that could be a Jamie Elliott type? Oh, that's so far. Oh, key forward. Jesus, he doesn't look 195 centimeters, or am I tripping balls? 43. God, I think I'm just blind. Where are my glasses, man? Ah, yep. He's tall. Yeah, he's tall. He's tall. What picks do we have? Yeah, 45, 48, 51, 69 still. Nice. Oh, yeah. And also, sorry. Yeah, Jamal, you're right. Because everyone's bidding, so it moves up. So we probably end up having 47, 49, 51 or something.
It's penetrating, short and long. His vision's excellent. And, no surprise there. I'm just surprised that it's so late.
Pick 42. The GWS Giants have matched the Western Bulldogs bid for Joshua Faye from the Queanbeyan Tigers.
There you go, Joey. Can you tell us, though, there's great scenes here. The entire Canberra City is in the one room and they're celebrating because they know he's going to be a generous Giants player now. We'll talk to him in just a few moments' time. We're going to see some highlights as well. And it's he's a pretty exciting player.
I like this song.
Player at senior level already. And I think a little bit of what Hayden Young, you think about what Fremantle Dockers are able to get. He's sort of got that hook there, the hair, the long blonde locks, and that the beautiful left foot kick, which, as Shifter said, stands out. You can see here he's got that ability to hit the short one. He can also kick it long with penetration and the run and dash off half back. And as I said, I think the GWS Giants, they're a really intriguing side next season. They've got a really strong list. We know about their inside midfield depth, and they've got that quality on the outside. And he's just another one that can add to that. So, really like what the Giants have done. You like him as well, Shifter?
Oh, very much so. Going to be a very, very good player at the AFL level. Let's chat to Josh Faye. Congratulations. You must be stoked. Give an insight into what the scenes are like there in Canberra.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Got a great support network down here. Queanbeyan Tigers have been here my whole career. They've done so much for me. Same with Giants Academy. Everyone.
I do the same thing I told you that I never would.
I'd like to get around to them individually over the next day or two to thank them all personally for getting me here.
Who's organised the function for you, Josh? Has that been the footy club or your mum and dad? Who's teed up the big support there tonight?
My auntie has actually, because my parents are stuck on the Gold Coast due to the border restrictions. Yeah, so that was devastating. They couldn't get down here, but yeah, my auntie's taken over that, and Adrian Bazzo, the general manager at my local club.
And you'd be pretty comfortable, mate, going to the GWS Giants. Obviously, you've been part of the academy, been there for a while. It'd be nice to officially be a Giants player.
Lots of sliders in this draft. Sam, we don't have pick 45 because of all these bids. I think since three bids or three academy players have been bidded on. Yeah, Charles, we're going to keep these next picks. There's no point, no point at all.
Not sure how long everything stays out. No, open in Canberra, but I'm sure they'll head out and have a good night. So they should.
With pick 43, the Western Bulldogs have selected Arthur Jones from Claremont.
Arthur. What a 70-year-old name. Imagine naming your kid Arthur.
He made a statement. Played on the wing, dash, 2 goals, 16 possession. You dig a bit deeper, he's from Mount Barker.
Yeah, I reckon Nick will play round one. 100% Nick will play round one. Definitely.
He took him on. The Indigenous boy ran up next to him and said, I'm taking you on. They fought for about 4 laps. So I love his ability in that game. The way he can...
It'd be funny if Collingwood aren't even interested in Draper at all.
What a reward for him.
Some excitement, bit of run and carry. Yep, some speed. Mick Ablett, I'm trying to remember the last Arthur that got drafted. He must be very excited, and he wasn't even ranked in our top 100.
Nah, we won't take Dib with our first pick. Nah.
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. It's funny, when I was having a look at him, I thought the same thing. I thought, geez, when was it the last Arthur that came through? Yeah, look, he's exciting.
Fuck, man.
We saw Colin burst onto the scene.
Crazy. And to think, so they've done over 20 picks today.
So he's another country player out of WA, which just highlights.
Have they? 25 picks?
After these regions and giving these kids opportunity. Step back on it.
Fuck, mate. Still got 3 picks before our pick.
This kid's no different.
So that's like another 15 minutes.
When you've got the brains in the room of Sam Power and Don Malesi and these guys that have really done their homework, the Dogs have certainly got an outstanding player that's another threat up forward for an already imposing team.
Mickey, are you able to give us an insight into the talent in WA this year compared to previous years? It seems like every second player is getting picked up from somewhere in the state.
Yeah, well, this group a couple of years ago nearly took out the NAB AFL Under-16 championships up there on the Gold Coast. So they were always a talented group of players. But as I just mentioned, there is so much depth in the country, boys, and it's something that harped on about for a long time. I know the West Coast Eagles are starting to invest regionally in some areas around the state as they recognise the importance. And just chatting before with Justin Longmuir about the same sort of thing, and he certainly...
Yeah, man. Sean, 100%. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun. I enjoy it. It's fun talking to you guys and streaming it and stuff. But if I was watching this by myself, I'd be on my phone. I'd be doing other things, you know, playing Pokemon, not really caring. Yeah. Yeah, Jake, I agree, man. Let's just fuck it up. See? Arthur Chilcott in Sydney in 1984. I told you that was an old dude's name. Did we, Lee? Fuck, he hates us for no reason. I know the reason why he hates us, but still. I did the same thing. I told you that I never would. It's always Adelaide, man.
Trading in and out and those sorts of things. But yeah, Zach Taylor's probably the one for me that's still a surprise to be on the board.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Joey. Best and fairest winner at the Cannons too. And we've got what you want in terms of the two main things: getting the footy and using it well. He's a great. Here we go.
With pick 44, the Adelaide Crows have selected Zach Taylor.
Cool. There you go.
Fantastic to see. We're just saying his efficiency rate for the footy is about 71%. The clubs analyse everything these days, and they know that he can kick it. He can get it. He's, as we say, at 181, he's only small, but gee, that doesn't matter at all in the game of footy. He's a bit like Tookie Miller. He's around the footy the whole time. He comes from the Call the Cannons. What a year he had as an All-Australian.
Dean Williams, key defender, a key forward. Bob's your fucking uncle. Here we go. Here we fucking go. I'll turn it all up.
I know he's only small, but we're seeing some small players have a real big impact at AFL level. And I would have thought for the Adelaide Crows, this was purely just the best player on the board.
Let's go!
Just would have looked at their board and said, we've got Zach Taylor rated, somewhere in the 20s. He's still available at 44. Yeah. Best available. Just take the player, and they've got themselves there a little star.
I've just got a text message from a recruiter at another club saying that might be the steal of the draft for the Crows. They really rated him, and clearly the Crows would be happy to take him at pick 44, and they want midfielders as well, Joey, as you've said in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can never have enough midfielders that we've spoken about. You look there at his profile, that's pretty good numbers for the NAB League. I mean, nearly 6 clearances a game, so he wins it on the inside. He can win it on the outside, high numbers, hits the scoreboard as well. As we said, really evasive, really clever player. I think he's going to be a little star.
Let's chat to him. Zach Taylor, welcome to Fox Footy's coverage. You've got a lot of mates there, like everyone else who's been drafted tonight. You're now an Adelaide Crows player.
So we did a trade. We did a trade with Geelong for that.
I think it's absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just doing the trade now. I've seen that.
Regardless, the Collingwood Footy Club is up next. We haven't seen the Pies in a while. Joey, where have the Pies been tonight? In fact, we haven't seen them at all tonight.
No, well, we knew that coming into the draft, that once they got Nick Dacos, they were going to lose most of their picks, but they've been able to get back in, and obviously there's a player that they really like.
So the pick is in.
Here we go.
pick 45, Collingwood have selected Arlo Draper.
Hey! Yes! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Woo! That's what we said, chat. We fucking said it. Hell yeah!
He stepped up to play senior footy at South Adelaide. One of three now from South Adelaide that played senior footy. Touch of class I like about him and versatility. He's got, a bit of Connor Rosie about him with that step. Even Jakey Stringer does some unbelievable things at times. You don't know how high that ceiling can be, whether he can be that mercurial half forward or whether he'll be a terrific running half back. I had him at 25.
Had him at 25.
But that's the way clubs analyse it.
Yeah, great get by Collingwood to get themselves back into the draft, but also we saw some phantom drafts had him in the first round, so Collingwood will be over the moon to get Arlo Draper at pick 45.
All right, Arlo, so we've had Matt Roberts, who's from South Adelaide, we've had Jason Horne-Francis last night, and now you've got a Collingwood. How do you feel about that?
Oh my God, I've almost got no words right now. That's incredible.
I love it.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm extremely grateful to Collingwood, and I can't wait to get started. Wow.
Congratulations, Arlo. You've probably waited maybe a bit longer than you thought. How have you been? Have you been like just sitting there so nervous? Have you been calm? How's the environment been up until this moment?
Oh, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a bit nervous. I didn't have too much expectation coming into it, but obviously sitting here waiting's been a little bit nerve-wracking. But it's insane that the Collingwood have taken me, and I'm really excited to get started.
Didn't I?
I know that you stopped playing footy for a couple of years when you were young. What brought you back to the game?
Probably this man behind me, Angus Bradley was playing local footy at Wollonga. He wanted me to come back, so I decided, you know what, come back, kick the footy around with him, and that's kind of what happened. Yeah.
Tell us who you got with you tonight. How are you celebrating, and who's in the room at the moment? They must be so proud.
Yeah, so I got mum and dad, my two brothers, Manny and Sid, girlfriend Layla, Angus' friend. It's a pretty small group, but celebrations will be on from now on.
And you happy to move to Victoria, mate?
Yeah, completely happy, stoked. Yeah, had my head wrapped around moving into state for a while, so yeah, really excited.
Arlo, awesome stuff. Look forward to having you in Victoria. Look forward to seeing what you can do for Collingwood in the future years as they rebuild under Craig McRae. Well done.
Thanks so much.
I don't get sick of that at all. That's awesome. Every single one is stoked.
Was this not the guy? I want to go back. I want to go back and say this guy has a sick name. Fuck yeah. Who called him? Someone in chat called Draper ages ago. You absolute fucking legends.
It's funny when you see a player sometimes and you just see him slotting in a certain role. I really like him across half back. He reminds me a lot of Jordan Wrigley. You look at just his composure. He does not panic with the ball in hand, weights his kicks really nicely, and he's willing to absorb contact. He's one of those players that can take contact, stand up, free the arms, and still release the footy. So it's a really important aspect of today's footy that you can actually still dispose of it post-contact and gain some yards for your team. I mean, he's going to give him versatility everywhere. With the highlights we're seeing at the moment is him up forward, but he's got those long arms, he's got that nice lean build, and like I say, that beautiful fluent technique where he's able to weight kicks and hit targets anywhere around the ground. So really impressive, and I think the Magpies fans will be licking their lips.
Yeah, maybe that's why he slid, because he is versatile, but he's played a bit of everywhere, but hasn't really cemented himself in any one spot. So it'd be interesting to see where Collingwood think he's best suited, because as Mick said there, he could be an excellent interceptor at half back. We've seen that he's got the ability to play forward, and we know he can go and play in the stoppages, burst out. He's got good balance and a good decision maker. So he's one that's got some
So mid.
If Collingwood can sort of embed him in one position,
Forward.
there might be some huge growth there.
All right, just posted that.
One that we look back in a few years' time and think that was an absolute steal at 45.
They've been rebuilding for 12 months, Collingwood. I think they had 9 or 10 debutants last year. They've got Nick Dacos in the door as well. So they're building something pretty special. I reckon it might be a couple of years away, but if you're going to be a young player going to a club and you want to get games, get a good grounding, Collingwood's probably the club at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a wonderful club and a brand new coach and a whole new environment and vibe down there. So to get some youth into that place will continue to spark the place.
With pick 46, Essendon have selected Alistair Lord from Norwood.
Well, it'd be a name we're familiar with if you're an old Geelong supporter. He's a Brownlow medalist in 1982, Alistair Lord. No relation, this boy. So I was following the name, but then he'd been injured, then he bombed up at a state game and was a star straight away.
So our next one's pick 48.
Beautifully, runs and links up very, very well. Was super at this combine too with his agility. Was in the best couple of kids in the country. But that rebound ability and that dash, bit of Adam Sard about him. So another one of those break the line defenders that can find the footy on the way out as well as intercepting. He's a kid from Norwood Footy Club. He's at private school at Ross Trevor and been a star when you read about him.
God, I got to find where I said Arlo went good. Got to watch a 2-hour stream again.
Again, they're probably not rebuilt, but they just topped up with an needed to top up in the last couple of years. Yeah, and Essendon were linked to Josh Sin with that sort of speed and agility out of the back half. So maybe they weren't able to get Sin because they got Hobbs instead, and maybe Lord was the next one in line that can play that. You know, got that, as Shifter said really well, that Adam Sard agility, uses it well, run and carry, and can break the lines off half back. Mick, tell us about Alistair Lord.
Yeah, really like this pick, boys. He's we saw the plays like on the screen. Brad Hill, you mentioned Adam Sard. How many times have we seen Brad Hill start the counter attack from the defensive side of centre? That's exactly what Alistair Lord does. He's the one that sets up the counter attack. He's generally the first player.
What are we thinking Williams next, or are we thinking Dean?
So I really like his lateral movement. I shift to touch on to run sub 8 seconds for your agility is absolutely elite. So good pickup for the Bombers and a nice replacement. Not just the loss of Adam Sard. We saw Nick Hines step up into that.
This is not a very saintly thing to say, Saint. And your thing is Jar Jar Binks, so I don't really, care too much.
Joey and Shifter. What sort of names are on the board, Shifter, that you're surprised that have slipped to pick 47? Sorry to catch you on the hop, but trying to find if there's any Geelong Falcons boys still coming forward because they've already taken a couple of Geelong Falcons tonight.
The white down there at midfielder, lefty. He got a bit of flair and a bit of toughness about him. If you're looking for the qualities, and probably saw the Falcons 3 or 4 times this year, he'd be one. We've mentioned, there's a tall boy from the Northern Knights too called Ned Long. He's a 196 midfielder. I think Paddy Cripps with him in terms of his stoppage work, and then when he rests up forward, he can mark the ball as well. But a small sample, but injured, so we've just seen 2 or 3 games from him. Okay.
So only 3 players so far have been drafted to 197 centimetres or above. Is that a surprise for you, Joey? Or is that sort of the trend over the last few years where ruckmen have been left till late or very early? Yeah, I think it was. There weren't many rucks in this draft at all, were there? We know Conway was the standout, and then there weren't many. But there hasn't been the amount of talls, and I'm surprised too the amount of mature age. We only had the 1 mature age selection so far. That was probably Lek Alir in the first round, but there hasn't been too many. But it looks like that there's going to be a bid on Windhager.
Yeah, William Deluz, you missed Collingwood picking up Arlo Draper, my dude. Huge.
They're expecting bids on their NGAs, and they'll probably match all of them.
Well, Windhager, he played a game, a private school game, under COVID. No one could get him to look, and there was no vision. But Maddie Lloyd was the coach, and just having a chat to him in recent time, at 34 and took 14 marks. You'd love to have beaten the fly on the wall for that game. That was the game we're looking to see. The breakout game for this boy with wonderful attributes. He's had an ACL in his development, an elite basketballer, and we could see bits and pieces of it, and that maybe was the game that we've all missed.
With pick 47, St Kilda have matched the Geelong Cats bid for Marcus Windhager from the Sandringham Dragons.
Well, I'm not sure if it was the same school game, Shifter, but my note said the game for Haileybury against Geelong College, he kicked 5 and had 25 touches. So whether that was the same game or another game, but this is another player, another basketball background who's hardly played footy in 3 years. Another one who's had a lot of injuries, an ACL injury, a back injury. But he's one that's got some real upside, hasn't he, Shifter? A really good size, another one of those powerful players that I think the Saints need.
So they've done very, very well there. They've invested in their next generation academy, and were able to match the bid here without it coming within 20 when they would have been able to do it.
So just a bit of news from earlier on. Adelaide and Melbourne were trying to orchestrate a trade, and the AFL knocked that trade back
because it was with picks that they traded during the trade period just gone. So that was the reason the league said no to the Crows and Melbourne, and the draft continued as it did. So Geelong Footy Club now have got 4 minutes on the clock. The Cats are an interesting club, aren't they, Joey? They might have one more year left in them. We thought that last year. They made a prelim final. What are they looking to do with these remaining pick or two they've got in the draft? Oh, they just need to continue to stock up. We know that they're chasing that flag. They've been chasing it for a number of years.
Linford, what's going on? Has been a while. Yeah, Quaynor's brother is going. Ben is going to appear soon, I think. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm pretty much AFK. I'm just posting on all my social media accounts. Fuck, I thought it was Friday.
Amongst the best boys in Australia, and he's developed now, and he's about 100 games to play.
With pick 48, the Geelong Cats have selected Flynn Kroger from the Eastern Rangers.
Well, I was lucky enough.
All right, here we go. Another Collingwood pick. Here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Put your bets on. Are we going Dean? Are we going Dib? Are we going Williams? Or will we be going someone totally left field? Am I getting fucking picked up? Who knows, mate? Here we go. We don't fuck around. Cooper Murley. Coops. Cripps.
That's the side was right up there in the finals, and so he showed all that class in his 16th, 17th year, and then it went pear-shaped this year for him. Come back fit at the end of the year. He tested very, very well.
All right, let me see if I can find. Oops, sorry, guys.
The smarts, only small at 178, but great natural playing talent.
Yeah, he's quite exciting. As you said, he only played, I think, the 3 games in 2021 because of injury, but in 2 of those he had 30 touches and kicked 2 goals. So he's got high upside. As you said, an All-Australian under 16, so we know he's had that talent. No one with injury. There's been so many of these kids that have had a lot of injury in their junior year, but came second in the Sandford under-18 comp as a bottom age of the year before, Shifter said. So another one that's on the smallish side, but certainly got a lot of talent and potential.
Mick, you've had your eye on Cooper. What are your thoughts on this selection?
He's only lightly framed, isn't he? He's only a small type of player and one that clearly they're going to have to invest in for a few years. But it's through opportunities that, and I know Shifter won't take any credit for this, but that Shifter and Grant Williams have created in terms of getting these games up, these state games in really tough times. And you speak to somebody like Brent Phillips, the state talent manager in SA, and he just was very, very grateful for the opportunity that these kids were given. And, you know, guys like Cooper, they just needed that chance, and he certainly got it. So look forward to watching what Collingwood can do with him and where he may unfold as a player as well.
Mick, are we likely to see any more WA boys selected tonight? Who's left that potentially could get a go that you think deserves an opportunity, or even the rookie draft tomorrow?
Yeah, well, the interesting thing, Judd Mcveigh's a young fella from up Geraldton way. Harry Taylor's had a lot to do with him, who was an All-Australian as well at under 16 level 2 years ago.
So I'm trying to look for some more info on him.
Because he was another one along with Bazzo that I had touted as a top 10 pick 2 years ago. He reminded me a lot of Stephen Hill, an elite talent. Then, Tommy, you start to get to the boys. Like, at what stage does the mature age talent come in? You've got Greg Clark at Subiaco that captained Subi to a premiership.
There he is.
Best on ground in that game. An outstanding young man that missed his chance 5 or 6 years ago and has just reinvented himself as a really tough inside mid at 190 plus. Bailey Rogers, another one that had an outstanding year at waffle level over here. So I'll be interested to see when those mature age players start to kick in, but I'm sure there's still some WA talent on the board, and look forward to hearing another couple of names called out.
All over it as usual, Mick. Let's talk about some of that mature age talent. Charlie Dean was the best young player in the VFL this year, Shifter, and the last 14 years, the best young player in the VFL has been drafted. You know, Bailey Fritsch, Luke Ryan, Jake McCarty, Kane Lambert, to name a few. He's a good young player, can play back and forward. You know, what do you think his...
He looks good.
Getting picked up either tonight or maybe in the rookie draft tomorrow?
In one of those spots of certainty, I think. So it may be tomorrow. I hope it's not. He's like Luke Ryan, very much like, he's a spectacular mark, this boy. Reads the angles. He's developed into a terrific 20-year-old too physically. Very impressed by the way he worked out at the end of the year. And that award, that... well, it's the Fothergill Round and Mitchell medal. Boys that have won both Liston trophies and Brownlow medals. It's named after for the most promising player. He is a promising player, and we hope he gets the chance he deserves.
So St Kilda's got pick 51 from Melbourne. Melbourne's got that future fourth round. There's a lot of future fourth rounders flying around, Joey.
Yeah,
to be honest, I
palm them off willy-nilly.
Yeah, I mean, they just fly around like jelly beans, don't they? Yeah. Next year they'll probably pass them on. Again, it makes me think that Melbourne probably doesn't have anyone on their mind they want to pick up this year.
And again, St Kilda have been able to get their two academy picks. But
Who's going to tell Charles?
With pick 50, Essendon have selected Garrett McDonough from Richmond.
Do we know who that is, Shifter?
Well, he'd be a VFL player, no doubt about that. A Richmond player. They've played about 9 or 10 games in the VFL this year, and enough for them to have scouted him pretty well. And that's a beauty that those sorts of players get the opportunity. They're picking off one from a rival VFL team. There's no love lost between the Bombers and Richmond.
Yeah, well, hopefully now that we've had a mature age, we might get a couple more coming through now that we get to sort of post-pick 50. But, Essendon there taking one.
I always do like it when clubs select players who potentially are...
When's our next pick? 52.
They go around the back door. Adrian Dodoro is a crafty list manager, and he's found one there from Richmond in the VFL. What about father-son, Shifter? Have we got many father-sons left that are looking to be picked up?
Well, the name Woden, of course, is still there, but they'll get him with their last pick. He'll end up, if there's no bid, he ends up a Melbourne player. He'd be pretty happy with that outcome.
What sort of player is he, Shifter?
Well, again, he was the second quickest that was tested. It shocked everyone with the speed. You don't see it that much in the game. He's a neat mover, a great user of the footy. He has got the cleanest hands in the business. I noticed in reading about him, worked with Dad over summer just to make sure he never fumbled the ball. That stood out. Played at East Fremantle in a leadership role as well. Played well in the state games. He certainly deserved the opportunity to get his place as a father-son.
Here we go.
With pick 51, St Kilda have selected Oscar Adams.
Ooh.
Football Club.
You know who I wouldn't mind? Josh Cripps, the brother of Patrick Cripps. Big forward.
He's a boy that can play centre-half back, but he's a big fella, a wiry fella at 197 that can help out in the ruck. It was the last game of those national games between SA and W. He's their best player. And I thought I could see it unfolding in front of my eyes the way he started to intercept mark. Not just a big kid that moved well, he actually started to pluck it. And I thought, I think he can make at least the rookie level. He has made it onto a
Here we go.
Great news for him. He's worked so hard from Mount Gambier right there on the border to get across and pursue his footy at Glenelg, and a great result for him.
Do you like this selection, Joey?
Well, it's a needs base, isn't it? Isn't it? They needed a key defender, a developing key defender. They can hopefully turn into a star to work alongside Dougal Howard. He did start the year as a ruck, and then he became a key defender. So that good size, really athletic kid as well for his height. So hopefully they...
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
That he falls to St Kilda. I had in my notes that he reminded me a lot of Joey's former teammate in Justin Kazitsky. His versatility and ability to go up and pinch it in the ruck as it's been touched on, and then just to float across half back. He's one of those that makes the game look really easy, and it will be interesting to see where he plays, where the Saints think he fits. I mean, up on the board comes also that he plays like Ben McIntyre.
No spoilers if you're watching this, not on delay.
So it's a nice problem for the Saints to have, and a nice nice replacement for their tall stocks.
How much of the draft selections at this time of the draft, Joey, are needs-based, and how much best available talent?
Well, I think it's horses for courses now for clubs, and I think that's what they try and decide. They would have their board, and there'd be some names that they'd have ranked higher that are available, but also at this time...
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Here we go.
With pick 52, Collingwood have selected Harvey Harrison.
Who?
Gone for speed. The quickest kid in Australia this year. That's a good wrap to have. And the fastest over the 20 metres with a 2.85 seconds. So that's the pick-me moment that he's had. You'll go back and see him kick a couple of goals playing for SA against the Allies too. That was an early curtain raiser to the Sandford grand final there at the Adelaide Oval. Very clever goals they were from his 14-15 possessions. So plays through the midfield. Been a prolific winner of the ball at under-18 level there at his club there at North Adelaide. But was that quickness that obviously has caught the eye of the Collingwood scouts.
Bit of pace for the Pies, Joey. You like that?
Oh, well, pace is always important at AFL level. You know, they run a 2.8, 20-metre sprint, pretty impressive, and can play on the inside. They can obviously get to the outside as well and use his legs. So you see what Collingwood have been able to do with this draft on top of the amount of picks that they were able to have last year. You know, they stocked up with 6 kids between picks 17 and 44 last year. They've been able to get a couple of picks between sort of 45 and 52. And out of that bunch, you know, they hope that 3 or 4 of them can become, you know, real stars and those real sort of diamonds in the rough we're spoken about tonight.
I think the Pies have been pretty happy so far. Mick, tell us about this young fella, Harvey Harrison.
Yeah, well, Luke Powell, the former NAB AFL Academy coach that's now development coach at Carlton, I remember him saying in training sessions to the boys, there's no time to walk in today's footy. Get on the move, stay on the move. You've got to be jogging and moving. This kid does that. He is constantly on the move. He's got an exceptional work ethic and really high work rate, which is what the modern game requires. So he's a player that can certainly stay up tempo, get from contest to contest and make sure he stays involved in the game.
What about Ned Long? His best mates with Josh Ward. Is he a chance to go tonight or the rookie draft tomorrow? What do you make of his football shifter?
It was just the lack of games with him. He certainly has the potential to do it because I've seen him dominate. I thought he was best on the ground in a game early in the year, but then it was the injury that kept him out of all the games later on.
So no fucking key position player.
Selected Jai Sarong from the Gippsland Power.
There we go, the brother of Caleb.
Yeah, and I hope he's been watching, or he would have been watching Caleb, but he wouldn't have missed a fella called Matt Fife in the middle either because this is a different size brother. He's the 193. He'd be watching the way Fife goes about. It's a tall midfielder. I don't know his position for down the track, whether he's a forward or a back. He's certainly athletic enough to be a player with what we've seen of him. Also a talented cricketer, so decisions are made by many of these boys as to what sort of career they want to pursue, and he's chosen his footy. He was down at the Geelong Grammar as well, so we've seen him at different times down there at the Gippsland Power in those 3 positions.
Yeah, timing is everything there, Joe, isn't it? Yeah, to pick ahead of Fremantle.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's nothing like his older brother Caleb. He's much taller. He's that real sort of project player, third tall forward. Got some real upside. So, yeah, he's grown as well. He's grown a huge amount in the last sort of 12 months. So, yeah, it's a project player for the Hawks, as we spoke about before.
Fuck, he's quick. He's really quick. Don't tell me he kicks this. That was nice. That was really, really, really nice. I like that. See you later, Rob. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Nah, Faye doesn't get on because he's category B, so that doesn't really matter.
In the back end of their career, well, this kid might end up learning underneath them and slotting in quite nicely.
I actually believe Fremantle would have taken him at pick 54 as well. It's a very interesting selection from Hawthorn. I just wonder sometimes whether the clubs sit there and they have a player and they want to get, they're just worried about a couple of clubs.
Thanks, Arlo. Appreciate it, mate. Have a good night.
Fremantle missed out. They'll have to get someone else now. So be saying, yep, we can get him, we can make him an AFL player.
Well, why don't you go for the form of a boy from home that won the Jack Clark medal? That's the equivalent of the Morris or the Lark medal. It's the best and fairest player in the Colts in WA. His name's Josh Brown, so a ball winner. You know, he's a boy that's formed this year, averaged 32 disposals a game. With his outside run, his inside stuff, his footy smarts, all of that. He's got the running capacity of a Bailey Smith. He might be using the ball as well as a Bailey at the moment, but you like to reward boys with performance. Another one, Bryce Watson, a dashing defender from over there at Swan Districts, I think has got some AFL attributes. So they're boys that would have made the boards of most clubs and would be contenders. Wogan, of course, what will happen there?
No, we've still got one more pick. 69. Nice.
With pick 54, Fremantle have selected Next Generation Academy nominee Eric Benning from the Waffle Colts CFC.
A very promising type, this boy. So he's there, Next Gen Academy, Indigenous boy. Watched him playing for that's Paddy Ryder as a 17-year-old. Wow. You know, he's a big athletic boy that shows you glimpses of.
Yeah, so I reckon 69. We might we only have one spot left on our list. Oh, if we've only got one spot left in our list, we might not even take 69. We might go to the preseason draft.
Where Eric's gone, you think he deserves to get picked up in this position?
Yeah, I love this. Well done to the Fremantle Football Club in investing in their own. They didn't wait for a bid to come on him. They've actually picked him. So let's give them a lot of credit, give the young man a lot of credit too. The East Kimberley's a long way away. I know we saw on the board that consistency is a question mark. Talent's not. He's got plenty of that, and consistency will come through greater exposure to the program at Fremantle. And again, coming down from as far away as what he did into the Colts competition is a big step for these guys. So he'll do some exciting things.
With pick 55, Port Adelaide have selected Hugh Jackson from North Adelaide.
That's Port's first pick tonight. Shifter,
pretty happy with that one. They would be.
Aiden, what's going on?
Early in the year, he was in all of the best teams of the week, all that sort of chat about a possible.
Sorry, guys, my nose is blocked. Yeah, I think you're right, guys. We might pass on our pick 70 or whatever it was. No, I don't think we go for Dib. I think we go for in the preseason draft.
Ability to play inside and out. He averaged 29 disposals and 12 contested playing for South Australia in the under-18. So just another natural footballer that might be able to develop into the midfield in a few years' time.
And look at these pick 56s. It's a bit like your 37s, Joey. There's some diamonds in the rough.
There are. Pick 56 has a good history of that. There's 4 players that have all played 400-plus games, and even in recent times, I mean, James Sicily, Dougal Howe, Jordan Dawson, all very good players in the current competition. So as we said, it doesn't matter how late these picks are. If the recruiters do their homework and find something, you can still get one.
No, Chug's not coming in the preseason draft.
Port Adelaide have selected Dante Byzantini from the Sandringham Dragons.
That's a pretty good name. Chug is going to be in the rookie draft, not the preseason.
He's a 201-centimetre boy that wrapped is picked up. He can play ruck and then take the big grab up forward. He's done for Sandy. He's done that for Vic Metro. So a lovely size, but it'll take him 2 or 3 years. But he plays with great passion and leadership. He shows a love of the game when you watch him from over the fence, and just invested in a tall player that's going to be the one that'll give you a chip out the ruck, but plays a tall forward as well.
So they traded out Peter Adams. They clearly see Sam Hayes as playing some more senior footy next year. Not sure if he's a specialist ruckman, Dante, but this clearly helps with their tall stocks, Joey.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you can speculate with these picks late. Is Jace Burgoyne being bid on yet? Port Adelaide? No.
Take it with their
last pick they get him. Yeah, so they've still got Jace Burgoyne to come through, which of course is the son of Peter Bergman. So they're going to get him as well, who is that sort of tall, quick wingman as well. So Port Adelaide will still have a strong hand in this draft, even though the picks have come late. I've been interested in Hawthorn all night tonight. So the Hawks they've really cut the lunch with two clubs. They took Connor McDonald, the pick before Carlton, who's gone into Carlton, and then Jai Sarong at 53. So you can see what they're going to do here with pick 57. They've been rebuilding pretty aggressively. The Hawks for the past few weeks, really, including the trade period. But now this is their draft. This is when they come into their own. What about Casey Voss shifter? Where are we looking for him? Is he a chance to go? The son of Michael Voss?
Well, the best and fairest winner at senior level. He just, about the 20, 21 years of age. And just described by his coach as one of the smartest players he's ever seen play at state league level. So he's got the footy smarts of the bosses. We think he probably gets a chance. It might be tomorrow, but certainly had a breakout year.
Collingwood, fucking South Australian Magpies, it seems like.
So they're done for the night. They joined GWS and some other clubs, having done their work. So that's their selection so far. What do you make of that draft haul, Joey? Starting with Joshua Ward, pick 7 last night.
Yeah, I think it's a really nice balance. So we know they wanted to get into the draft. They've got their star midfielder in Ward. They've got that other sort of mid-forward, Sam Butler, who's got that explosiveness to get in and out of traffic. Connor McDonald is your more old-fashioned big ball accumulator. Can play in the midfield. That's sort of his predominant spot as that inside mid who gets a lot of footy. And then they've speculated with an athletic sort of third tall forward at 193 centimetres who's got some real upside. So they've got some real balance out of this draft period.
Yeah, Draper was the biggest steal of this draft. Absolutely incredible.
Saints are up next. We're in the 4th round now of this 2021 draft on Fox Footy. Hope you're enjoying it. There's still some players to be picked up, some pretty mature age players as well, some talented young men who'll be hoping to get a lifeline either tonight or tomorrow at the rookie draft. Of course, you can follow that on foxfooty.com.au. Interesting there, St Kilda's the draft profile says that the general forward, they're ranked 18th in the competition, just for the natural forward. So now they've got King and Membry and a couple of smalls, but they're going to pass for the night. They're done.
No, they're going to stay in, but they pass there.
Yeah. So we've got the next pick. That's some left lane out the back with Danny Sexton.
Everyone's going to start passing now. I just want to get past that 69 and then...
So we expect some clubs to start passing up now. Yep. There is flexibility with the list at AFL level. You can have that flexibility between 36 and 38 selections. So you can, if there is someone still on the board that you want, you can make room for response.
Tom, that's a huge call, my dude. We've won the draw. What am I doing tomorrow? Oh, fuck! I thought tomorrow was Saturday. God damn it! On Saturday, I'll drop a video just going over our draft and stuff like that. Maybe I'll do a squawk with Swoop as well. They took minutes to pass.
The other opportunities, of course, but the supplementary period just been introduced now in the last couple of years. You can bring a couple in over summer and work out which one you want to keep.
Yeah, I think Freo did really well this year.
Back and running again. If you can spot, you can use it halfway through the year. So that's the flexibility they give.
Clubs want to give themselves that bit of flexibility because
some room.
Yeah. This is the Fox Lab rank. Ned Long still there. And then we spoke about before, Charlie Dean. Casey Voss down there.
Charlie Dean, they got Jack Williams there. Ranked as well. No Cripps though.
Some of them can train on, and if there's that opportunity, if there is some injury through the pre-season to get on a list in the new year, and of course mid-season draft for these players. Hopefully, season 2022 we can get full years of football away, whether it's in Victoria and in their states. Hopefully we're through all the COVID and they can put some football.
I just want Cripps for Carlton Melts. Honestly, he could be the shittest player, but I want him for Carlton Melts. Like, wouldn't that be the best? Wouldn't that be absolutely the best?
So you might ask why the Saints have passed on 2 picks, but are staying in the draft. I think it's probably in case anyone bids on.
Is Casey Voss really Michael's son?
Of Nova Peris, former Australian Olympian.
No way.
And runner as West Coast submit their pick.
With pick 57, the West Coast Eagles have selected Jack Williams.
Ah! Fuck!
Well, he's a big body forward. He's got a real physical presence and presents all of the time. I'm amazed he did at 57. I think the way he takes the most marks of any young player over in WA with that presence across half forward. He gets the ball a bit too. He averaged 15 disposals and 6 marks a game, 40 goals.
Let him go. He looks good. He looks good.
WA were unbeaten at under 19 level this year, and he was a key player for them, Jack Williams. So they'll be delighted in a long-term key forward.
Yeah, of course, Josh Kennedy, we know the superstar coming towards the end. Still Oscar Allen and Jack Darling, who is getting on, but he's starting to replenish and looking ahead to 3-4 years down the track. And Jack Williams is that key forward who can pinch it in the ruck. And another one who stayed local, another Western Australian pick. So the Eagles have really kept it homegrown this year.
The Swans have just passed on that selection, and now they're at pick 58. Mick, what are your thoughts on Jack Williams? Have you seen much of him play, and how much of an impact can he have? Maybe not next year, but certainly down the track.
Yeah, well, it's a hot recruiting area, the East Fremantle zone, and West Coast have done it again. They've made a habit of this, investing in local talent, particularly later in the draft with some great success. So you look at a player like Jack Williams, he can kick multiple goals. He's kicked 2 or more in 12 out of 15 games. So when he does hit the scoreboard, he does kick multiple goals, which is important. Joey mentioned the need to address some of those players that are starting to transition out. They've done that very, very well for a long period of time, the Eagles recruiting group. And again, Jack's going to be a work in progress and somebody that may take a little bit of time, but that's what the Eagles have. They have time. They've got forwards that can step up at the moment, even in the absence of Josh Kennedy. So nice pick from the Eagles and a player that I look forward to watching develop.
Good stuff, Mick, as always. So let's have a look at Freo's picks and see.
Yeah, Charlie Dean is left. This guy looks as tired as I am right now. Charlie Dean, Cripps is left. Fresh, I can't pronounce his surname, is left.
Top 10, 12 talented players, all Western Australian, to go with the group that they've already sort of got in recent years and build on that midfield. They tick some areas off with that midfield depth, some versatility there with Johnson inside, outside, Erasmus with that ability to play inside and forward. They get their key forward that they can develop, and then that young ruck that they can develop over time. So Fremantle will be absolutely wrapped with what they've done this year. Do you like what they've done tonight and also last night, Shifter?
I do. They've capitalised on the great form of the kids at under 19 level. They look to be the best young group around, and to keep 4 of them, that's a pretty good hand.
Staying in WA, what about Josh Cripps, Patrick's taller brother? I'll just hold that
because
we've got a pick coming in for the Sydney Swans. Let's go to Brad Scott.
With pick 58, the Sydney Swans have selected Lachlan Rankin from the Oakley Chargers.
He was quite high up on the Fox Lab rankings, Shifter.
Yeah, I like him as a selection too. He's a boy from Beverly Hills, what a football club it's been in producing the Crispin Petrarcas, even back to Paul Roos and Mark Branning from many, many years ago. And a boy that can play half back or half forward. His point of difference is his use of the ball.
Pick fucking Cripps. I just want to see Cripps come.
Or the longer ones, and he's got goal sense when he gets forward. I think he's better back behind the ball, which he played a couple of years ago, but that versatility gives him a whole range of spots.
Yeah, I don't think they can declare until they get their pick.
Tell us about him.
Yeah, I had him down, Tommy, as someone that reminded me of a more...
Guys, can you believe we've been on here for 2.5 hours? That's fucking nuts. I love you all so much. Thank you so much. You guys really make my fucking day, night, everything. I do it for you guys. I appreciate you. Salute.
Oh. Did the second pick, didn't let just take us all a bit by surprise there, Joey and Shifter. We didn't expect that, but I take it they're very happy with it.
Oh, he's got some upside. Has the potential on him.
Glenn Archison hasn't been bidded on yet. Yeah, man. Fuck. And he had a big write-up in the paper as well. How come the Roos haven't picked him up yet? He might be a rookie.
Leap was sensational, wasn't he? That was a stamp that he put on himself at that combo with 107-centimetre running vertical jump that we all talked about, went back to his vision, picked up on his story as to the gaps in his underage years where he had some injuries, and then unfolded the back half of the year at senior level. The advantage of playing that back half that many of the kids around Victoria particularly didn't play that last 7 or 8 games of the year. That's when he was starring. He interviewed so well. The club said that, gee, he's an impressive young man. Someone's going to take him. They thought it might be from 30 onwards, but once the Giants had set their minds on him, it didn't matter what.
Jackson, Paul, who are we talking about here, dude? Young Jackson. Did I miss something? Mate, I can't do the rookie draft as well. Fucking hell.
They've really stocked up in that area now, and now they can start to build outside. I think they've done really well with their sort of key position forward rucks, and they're continuing to build their list.
Oh, he'll be Archer.
North Melbourne have selected father-son nominee Jackson Archer.
Oh, Jackson's his first name. Yeah, I didn't know that was his first name. Thanks, Paulie. And Liam, thanks, guys. Wow, he doesn't even have a picture. I hate when it does that. He doesn't even have a picture. That's crazy. Oh, I can't wait to go play Pokemon. But should I definitely do this Pokemon video? Because that would be pretty fun. I might chuck a poll up on Twitter as well. Next Collingwood pick is probably, I don't know, 65 now because everyone keeps passing. Yeah, Liam, you'd think that as an Archer, they would show him because isn't Glenn Archer Shinboner of the century?
I think they've made it a bit more fair now, but it still does give the club a chance to get father sons in. There's another one in now for Port Adelaide.
With pick 60, Port Adelaide have selected father-son nominee Jace Burgoyne from the Eagles.
That was your player, Peter Burgoyne, and now his son's at the club.
Repeat story, hey. A champion of the game was Peter, Indigenous team of the century. We forget that now with Sean, his brother, being such a wonderful player in more recent years. But Pete was a star, 240 games there at Port. This boy's a player. I'm shocked he's not bid upon. Just the naked eye watching him play. He's got exciting pace, steps around.
64, there you go. I was so close. We'll probably pass on it. But look, let's just watch it anyway. Who's the doggies' other father son? Yeah, Shane Woden. Gun. Check my Instagram.
Well, he's frighteningly like his old man. It's uncanny. I kept watching the vision over and over and over, and like Shifter said, it's hard to see why he wasn't bid on because it's just his composure. But Peter had this knack of putting the game into slow motion, and so's Jace. It's just that ability to take your time. Almost looks like he's got an extra 2 or 3 seconds than what other players have around the ground to make his decisions.
With pick 61, the Western Bulldogs have selected Luke Cleary.
Damn, I thought they were going to say me. Fuck.
They are a breeding ground. There's 34 players in the last couple of drafts that have gone there, and they've had 8 players from this draft taken. They're a very good football club, aren't they?
Well, Luke, congratulations. Don't take no for the answer. Overlooked last year, overlooked in the mid-season draft. He played in the Young Guns game. He presented for Vic Metro then. And it's going to be that story for many kids in draft stories, that you'll get overlooked and knocked back, but he kept improving and working on his game. Reads the angles fantastically well. 190 centimetre half back. Great decision maker. End up second in their best confederates at Sandy this year. Behind
Pick number 1 next year, I'm hoping. I'm trying to grow an extra 40 centimetres to become a key position forward.
Eight's a huge haul, Santa Dragon. That's double more than anyone else. And I said 34. That's over the last 5 years. And that's
You're getting beaten 4-2 in FIFA. Yeah, man. Go for the cheeky cheap goals. Get right close to that goalkeeper on the right post and just pass it back into the middle. A nice through ball back into the middle and smash it home, brother. 50 centimetre growth spurt. I'm hoping, Tommy. I'm hoping. He's hoping. Look, I'm 30 next year, so maybe I'll be rookie listed, but not pick number 1, that's for sure. Oh.
Let's see what Jason Cripps has got up his sleeve. There's been a trade. Now it's up to West Coast. We'll wait and see what that trade is. Port. That's what it is. So the Eagles get pick 62 and Port. There we go, Joey. They get that future 4 forever.
Imagine what did the Eagles trade for 62? I wonder if they pass. That'd be funny. I'm playing Pokemon Brilliant Diamond for the first time. Oh, West Coast will select Cripps, you reckon? That'd be interesting. Oh, I got to take a piss.
We've got to go now. We don't worry about next year. We've got someone left in here that we want to grab.
Pick 62. The West Coast Eagles have selected Greg Clark.
Ah, yo, Greg Clark. Good, mate. Yeah, I appreciate it. Harry, thanks, mate. Thanks for the kind words. Even Greg is an old person's name, right? A quick recap. We smashed it. Dacos at 4. Arlo Draper, the biggest steal of the draft at 45. Here we go. Collingwood are going to pass, but here we go.
It's taken a lot longer than most of them. 4, 5, 6 years in the system. Now gets a crack at it. We wish him luck and hopefully impact at AFL level for the Eagles. But it's a great story and, as we said, a great sign of perseverance and resilience.
Yeah, Vic, this must be one of the stories of the draft. Tell us about him, 24 years old.
Yeah, I'm absolutely wrapped for this young fella. Like
you said,
he is an example.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Fuck!
I watched him play in the grand final this year. He got absolutely crunched in the first quarter, and a lot of players wouldn't have got up, went off the ground, had the shoulder.
All right. God damn. God damn. So, I think that's going to be it. Look, guys, I think that'll be it. If we passed on 64 or 65 or something, we're not going to take any of our other picks, which is like 89. And, yeah, she's done. All right, guys. All right. No, we don't. Not in the rookie draft. We have. Oh, maybe in the rookie draft as well. Yeah, and the preseason draft, we got pick 2. All right, guys. This has been a 2 hours and 40-minute stream. Thank you all so much for jumping on. I love every single one of you. There's 100 on here right now. Remember, I'm always streaming. I'm not always streaming. I've got all these interviews lined up. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Swoop Luke, Twitter, Swoop Luke, TikTok, Facebook, all Swoop Luke. If you're new here, subscribe as well. But find me on all those social media accounts. Got some giveaways planned, some nice ones for Christmas. But until then, I love you all. Peace and love. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets. And until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you all later.